press that plunger. You can't press that plunger.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
You're always 1, 2, 3 jumps ahead. Stick with us, you'll be well fed.
With happy music all the while.
Easy listening with a smile.
Keep jumping, follow suit. You're gonna have a bright new future.
On the 5th of June 1966, the radio series Round the Horn broadcast a parody of the story entitled Moby Duck, the Great White Peking Duck, 80-foot long it be with a 200-foot wingspan, and they do say as how when it lays an egg in the China Seas there be tidal waves at Scarborough, starring Kenneth Horne as the Ishmael-like hero Ebenezer Cutpowder, Kenneth Williams. This fine stripling with his apple cheeks and his long blonde hair, and his core, you don't half have to use your imagination, who is shanghaied in Portsmouth aboard Captain Ahab's ship the Golden Help Glub Glub. The woman who was launching it fell off the rostrum and drowned.
My lords, ladies and gentlemen, your highnesses, your graces, Father Thames, Mother McCree, Sister George, the President of the Ballspond Road Temperance Society would like to take Irish whiskey with his honoured guests. But he daren't. So please be upstanding and charge your glasses with Dr. Catamold's vitaminized tonic wine. The kiddies love it. Ladies and gentlemen, the toast is Round the Horn!
And in this edition, you'll be able to meet Dermot Stayvaker and René, thrills and spills on the mighty bacon slicer. And music will be provided by Captain Peregrine Simcox and the massed pipes of the 14th Mounted Sanitary Inspectors. But here now is your own, your very own, Kenneth the Tiddly-Winky Girl, Horne.
That was Douglas Smith, who has often been. But unfortunately, he always comes back. Now, here are the answers to last week's questions. First, complete the following film title, Whistle Down Thee. Well, of course, it was Wind. And most of you had it. Bad luck. Needless to say, I had a letter from Mr. Gruntfuttock, and what he whistles down is of no possible interest to anyone. Except Bertram Mills and perhaps the Director of Public Prosecution. Now, the well-known phrase or saying was, people in glass houses shouldn't. And, of course, that is complete as it stands. All right, Smith, now make the announcement.
Certainly, sir. And now, since this is the final program of the series, this is positively your last chance to throw yourselves at the feet of D. Smith, Demon Boy Announcer, and demonstrate the esteem in which you hold me. What, no one? Oh, well, the Kenneth Horne Theatre of Suspense.
Terror is a strange emotion. It is different things to different people. It can be a creaking on the stairs. It can be something rustling in the attic. But for most people, it is Mrs. Thursday. Come with me now through the creaking door of the unconscious, where lurks the ghastly naked spectre of insanity.
Good evening, sir. I am the Insanity Spectre. I've come to unblock your libido.
Through here, Spectre. You'll find it in the Twilight Sanctum.
My name is Ebenezer Cuck Powder. But we won't go into that now. I come of a West Country seafaring family, but I can't do the accent. I can, actually, but I won't. The story I'm about to relate took place when I was but a slip of a lad, the lad in question being my father, and the slip being me. The year was 1863, and I'd arrived in Portsmouth. I was footloose. In fact, my kneecaps were only held on with sticky tape. And fancy-free. That is, if it was free, I fancied it. Ready for adventure, I made my way to a low tavern on the quayside frequented by rough, swarthy, seafaring men.
Pig gin, dearie.
Coming up, Black Jim. How about you, Tobago Jack?
I'll have the same as him and a packet of crisps, and don't forget the salt.
Shiver me timbers! Vast me mateys! Clear a path for Scarface Rufus, me boyos. Avast, I say. I'll put me hook through any man Jack who dares stand in me way. Arr, 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 arr. A pint of grog, me beauty. Come here, me dear. Give us a kiss. Arr.
Edmund Vicar.
What brings you in here, Scarface? I be looking for a crew to sail with Captain Ahab. He be shipping out tonight. Which of ye stout-hearted lads will sign on? Shanghai Charlie, Frisco Sam, Yokohama Mike, Western Supermare Alf? What? Be ye all afeard? Curse your black hearts for a pack of lily-livered jackeralls. Who will take ship with Captain Ahab?
Good evening. Ebenezer Cuck Powder at your service.
No thanks, I never use it.
I eyed him curiously. Aye, aye, Scarface.
Aye, aye, Cuck Powder. Well, what brings you here?
I'm looking for a ship.
Then come in, me hearty. Well, mateys, and who be this young Cuck Powder who puts ye all to shame? This fine stripling with his apple cheeks and his long blonde hair. Aye, and his... Oh, you don't have to use your imagination.
A disgrace, though.
You be a lucky lad to sail aboard the Golden Help Glub Glub.
That's a curious name for a sailing boat.
Aye, the woman who was launching it fell off the rostrum and drowned.
Hey, and ever since the ship be accursed, my dear, nobody who'd go on her had ever been seen again, my dear. 'Tis like a floating Amos Andrews show, my dear. Don't he go aboard her, my dear?
Take no heed, young Cuck Powder. Take no... Young Cuck Powder.
Oh, honestly, it's ludicrous, isn't it?
Have a drugged drink, matey. What'll it be?
I'll just have a grog and a bit of lemon.
Here, lad.
I quaffed the foaming tankard eagerly, and then suddenly everything blurred, and the figure of Scarface started to dance in front of my eyes.
Oh. Sorry, I spoke.
When I came to, it was to find myself lying on a bunk surrounded by the faces of as ruffianly a band of desperados as one could wish to meet. That's outside of Eddie Braden and the Hornblowers, of course. One of the scoundrels leant over me.
Hello, matey. Be you feeling better?
Where am I?
You be in the evil-smelling forecastle of Captain Ahab's ship, and these are some of the evil-smelling folks'll be your shipmates. This'n be One-Eyed Culpepper.
Hello, matey.
This be Black-Hearted Obadiah Loombogo.
Hello, matey.
And this be the first mate, Iron Teeth Rumspicket.
Hello, darling.
You'm been Shanghaied, young cockpowder. We be 4 weeks out of Portsmouth, bound for the China Seas. We be going after Moby Duck.
Shouldn't that be Dick?
No. This be the great white Peking duck that haunts these waters. 80 foot long it be, with a 200-foot wingspan. And they do say as how when it lays an egg in the China Seas, there be tidal waves at Scarborough, my dear. Captain Ahab be sworn to slay the critter. You see, they had a tussle once before, and he now wears a wooden leg. Oh, it'd be a fearsome critter.
Yes, I can imagine. It's not every day you see a giant duck with a wooden leg, is it?
It's not the duck, it's Captain Ahab.
Here he comes now.
Morning, scum. Morning. Curse all they black hearts, ye bunch of snivelling toadies.
Oh, thank you, Captain.
Any complaints?
Well, the food, Captain Ahab, be awful. For the last 4 weeks, we've had nothing but big beans. There's rumblings in the forecastle every night.
Silence! Silence, One-Eye! How would thee like a taste of the cat?
Oh, thank you, Captain. It'll make a change from all them big beans.
Captain, we can't go on like this. No.
You mutinous dogs. Where's Mr. Christian? Mr. Christian!
So do me a favour, what do you want?
Mr. Christian, take One-Eye Culpepper below, give him a few lashes, some mascara, and a tin of wrinkle cream. He looks awful.
No, please, not that. No.
Take him away, Mr. Christian, and put him to picking oakum.
No.
For the next 2 weeks, the poor wretch lay below, picking away at his oakum. It's an unpleasant habit, but it passes the time at sea. Next morning, I was awakened at 6:15 bells by Captain Ahab shouting from the crow's nest.
Avast! Avast!
Avast what?
I don't know, but it's pretty big. Wait a minute, it be Moby Duck. There she blows.
What do you mean there she blows? Ducks don't blow.
But whatever it is they do, she's doing it. Look, duck ho on the port bow. Thank you, Ducky. Here, she's taking off. She's going to lay an egg. Quack! Quack! Whoa! Man the harpoon gun. We're going after her. She's getting away. More steam. More steam.
This is a sailing boat.
Oh, yeah. More wind. More wind. We're gaining on her. She'll not get away this time. 40 years I've waited this moment. Yes, I know what you said about me. I know what's been whispered on this ship. You all think I'm a raving madam.
Fendi, it's a misprint. It should be a raving madman.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a bit bold. Yeah. Raving madman, of course. I may be mad, but that duck be the cause of my madness. I will have vengeance. There she be, alongside now. Stuff me in the harpoon gun. Now listen. No, come on, now stop messing about. Stuff me in the harpoon gun, cock powder. I'm going after her myself.
Aye, sir. Ready, stuffed. Fire!
Oh, congratulations! A direct hit.
Where?
Well, I can't actually say, but if Captain Ahab was an orange...
See them grappling, Captain Ahab and his Leviathan duck locked in mortal combat.
For hours it seemed the duel continued, no quarter being given or asked. But at last, with a final flurry of its huge webbed feet, Moby Duck succumbed.
Ooh, quack!
And vanished beneath the waves, carrying Captain Ahab with it. And there endeth my chronicle. And even today, 80 years later, though I'm old, bent, and sore, No, I'm sorry, it's another misprint. It should be Sear. The memory of that giant duck stays with me. Whenever I eat duck à l'orange at the Ritz, I think to myself with a quiet smile, it's amazing what you can get away with in Round the Horn. By the way, the accomplished Mr. Hugh Paddick played the part of the duck. It was the part that most people throw away. And now, here are the Fraser Hayes Four, who spent all the morning polishing their scales and cleaning their little webbed feet, so as to be nice and smart as they sing.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Fraser Hayes Four.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Because I was afraid to speak when I was just a lad. Me father gave me nose a tweak and told me I was bad. But then one day I learned a word that saved me aching nose. The biggest word you've ever heard, and this is how it goes.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
He travelled all around the world, and everywhere he went, he'd use his word and all would say, there goes a clever gent.
When dukes and maharajas pass the time of day with me, I say my special word and then they ask me art to tea.
Oh, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
You know you can say it backwards, which is docious aliexpiistic fragilcalirupus, but that's going a bit too far, don't you think?
So when the cat has got your tongue, there's no need for dismay. Just summon up this word and then you've got a lot to say.
But better use it carefully or it may change your life.
Like, one night I said it to me girl, and now me girl's me wife.
She's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. 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 Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
And now, trends.
First, the trend in films is still back to the 40s, the era when Fanny was by Gaslight and not Hill. And Hill was Dr. Charles and not Fanny. The days when Jimmy Tarbuck was Ted Ray and so was Charlie Chester. When everybody was our gallant ally, except for the people who are now our friends. Ah, well, plus ça change. That's your actual French, you know. Here now is an excerpt from one of the great films of that period, starring Dame Celia Molestrangler and aging juvenile Binky Huckaback.
Oh, Charles. Charles. I thought you'd never get here.
It wasn't easy. But I pulled it off.
Charles, darling, how strong you are.
Oh, Fiona, how I love you in these gay, madcap, antic, heidenish, exuberant moods of yours. You just twinkle.
Only for you, Charles. Only for you. Come, sit here by me. Tell me, Charles, is it bad?
At the front.
At the front.
Pretty bad. At the front. Not too good at the back. But he's done the sides beautifully. It tickles you, does it? Perhaps I should have shaved it off. How I love to hear you laugh, Fiona.
I know.
I know you know.
I know you know, I know.
Yes, I know.
Oh, Charles, I want to make you happy for these few brief, fleeting moments that we're together. How can I make you happy?
You know, Fiona.
Yes, I know. Kiss me, Charles. Kiss me.
Oh, Fiona, if only this could go on forever. Tell me, Fiona, have you ever loved like this before?
Not like this. Not quite like this. Not on the top of a 73 bass.
Yes, it beggars description, doesn't it? Now we move on to the world of folk music. Sumer is a croomin' in, lewd sing, rambling Sid Rumpole.
Well, hello, me dearie, for I'll fuss me trusset and wordle me groats, and if that don't work, I'll poke it down with a stick.
Well, I wouldn't, you know. It might turn nasty if it's disturbed. Now, what ineffable ullage have you got for us this week?
It is a Runcorn Splod Cobblers song, sung by the Splod Cobblers of Runcorn as they pump their cordwangle bellow afore cobbling their splods. It's best to do it in that order. You see, the splod has to be white hot, otherwise it gets the bogle in it, and you can't do nothing with a bogled splod.
No, I believe that even the dustman won't take it away.
I won't take it away.
No. What exactly is a splod?
A splod is a kind of spottle guard or shreve hoof worn by a Lummoxshire knob tiddler or work goat, as it prefers to be known. Understandable, really, because you'd feel embarrassed, too, if you was called a Lummoxshire knob tiddler.
Yes. You would be wide open to all sorts of curious nicknames, wouldn't you?
Precisely, yeah. Sometimes I swear he understands every word I say. Now, me dearie-o, as the Splod Cobbler works his trummis, he sings this lugubrious ditty. I sing as I cobble and hammer my splod, though my trummis glows hot and my trade be I sit as I garble and pillock me spleen. For a cobbler's life is the life for me. Sing lickety, lickety, splod me boys. Sing whackety, whackety, ooh.
Well, why the ooh?
Well, that's the sad part of the narrative. Alas, you see, he misses his splod and impales himself on his own cord wangle.
I imagine that could be very painful.
Fatal, as most often. As a result of which he dies lack-a-day. And they do say as how his ghost walks abroad in a minor key as follows. Now his ghost still sits and cobbles his blood, though his tramis grows cold and he's on his tongue. He sings as he garbles his ghostly spleen. Oh, a cobbler's life was the death of me. Sing lickety, lickety, splod me boys. Sing whackety, whackety, splod. Ooh.
Well, I think there's an awful warning for us all there. Now, moving on. Recently, I was asked to organise a cabaret for the Director General of the BBC. They said they wanted something different, so I popped down to a little agency in the Charing Cross Road that I'd heard of. It was called Boner Performers. Hello, anybody there?
Hello, I'm Julian. This is my friend Sandy. We're your Boner Performers.
Boner Performers, we are. Oh, it's Miss Rawn. Oh, how nice to Vardy a dolly old eek again. Oh, well, what brings you trolling in here?
Well, I've been asked to organise a cabaret for the BBC on the 15th. Now, I was wondering if you could fix me up.
Oh, yes, Ducky. Yes. Oh, no, we'd be glad to fix you up any time. Yes. Oh, BBC, is it? Oh, well, you want something a bit risque for that mob. How about Queenie? I think she is at liberty, isn't she?
Queenie?
Well, what does Queenie do?
Oh, she does striptease with a difference.
With a difference.
See, she's the bearded lady at Blackpool. She's got a long beard right down to her ankles.
Right down. Yes, and instead of stripping, she just comes on and shaves. Yes, lovely act. Very good act. She can't do it often. Takes her 2 years to grow the beard again. Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Really
well, it's not exactly what I had in mind. A little less exotic, I think.
We can get you the great Omi Poloni. He's one of ours, isn't he, Jewel?
Oh,
Omi Poloni.
Yes.
Lovely act. No, describe the act, Jewel.
Well, he's your actual strongman, really, isn't he? Yes.
Yeah.
Beggar's description.
He beggars description.
Could you give me some idea of his act?
Well, he comes on, you see, wearing this leopard skin, you see. He's a great butch Omi with... I mean, he's got these thews like an oak and bulging lallies. Bulging.
Well, he bends an arm bar, tears 2 telephone directories in half, he drives a nail through a plank with his bare fist, and then, as a finale for his piece de resistance...
That's your actual French.
He's harnessed between 2 teams of wild horses, pulling in opposite directions. But does he budge? Budge he does not.
Budge he does not.
No, and we bill him as the strongest man on earth.
Well, I'll take him then.
Oh, you can't have him on the 15th. That's the night for washing his hair.
All right, well, now, who else have you got that's available?
Well, we're available, and we sang.
Extremely. We will be happy to oblige on the 15th. We are your great all-round entertainers, Sand and Jewel, a show in themselves.
All round.
Brightest stars in the showbiz firmament. We can be seen nightly at the Marine Commando Club in Paddington. We're always there, you see. We can be seen up there.
Yeah, won't you come and see us, eh?
Yes.
Drag yourself up there one night. We have to be seen to be believed.
Yes. And what, I shudder to ask, do you do?
Oh, he bowled! Oh, he goes too far, doesn't he?
Too far.
Well, we're versatile, Miss Drawn. You name it, and we do it.
All right. Sing?
No, not actual singing, no.
Dance?
No, no.
Juggle?
No.
Conjure?
No.
Well, I thought you said if I named it, you could do it.
Oh, yes, Ducky, but you haven't named it yet.
Well, eventually I named it, and they did it. But happily, the plaster should be off in a couple of weeks. Finally, last week's hangover question. It was the what is it question, in which I asked you, what is it that has a great hairy body, 2 huge staring eyes, 16 legs, and an 8-foot wingspan? Well, I only got one answer to this, which came from a Major E.R. Larkshaunch of North Borneo. He said, and I quote, "The creature you describe is common in these parts and is known as the giant man-eating..." Whoa! Well, I assume he was right, as the letter was sent by his next of kin. Cheerio, and with any luck, see you next year.
That was Round the Horn, starring Kenneth Horne, with Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick, Betty Marsden, and Bill Pertwee. On the musical side, you heard the Fraser Hayes Four and Edwin Braden and the Hornblowers. The script was written by Barry Took and Marty Feldman, and the show is produced by John Simmons.
And the beat goes on.
Hurry up, Gran, get a move on, do. You got no right on a Saturday night to be in there scrubbing for an hour or more. I'm here knocking on the bathroom door. You ought to hurry up, Gran, there's a great long queue. Poor Aunt Kate's in a terrible state, 'cause she heard you singing and you sounded like a man. Go away, baby. Hurry up, Gran. Mama's got the feeling that the overflow ain't all it ought to be. It's coming through the ceiling in the room below, dripping onto Dad, who's having his tea. Please hurry up, Gran, 'cause you've been all day. So buck up, do. There are other folk who want a quick lick and polish while the water's hot. Time you finish doing who knows what, you gotta hurry up, Gran, you'll be washed away. Our young Ted's going early to bed, but with you there wallowing, he's had to change his plan. Go away, baby. Hurry up, Gran. What are you doing in there anyway? I'm practicing me breaststroke. Well, honestly, Gran, this is a bathroom, you know, not the Serpentine. Oh, hurry up, Gran, what time you take? Your boyfriend's due in a minute or two, and if you're not ready, he'll be most upset. You can't go bowling with your hair all wet, you better hurry up, Gran. Well, for goodness sake, Uncle Dave is in need of a shave, and the teeth in soaking there belong to Uncle Stan. Go away, baby. Hurry up, Gran. You haven't got the telly in there again, have you? I'm watching the news. Watching the news in the bath? Well, for heaven's sake, tell the bloke to look the other way before you get out.
Tear or two in the broken-hearted lover's stew.
There are 9 carrots to remind me of the ring I bought for you. Some mint for all the crazy things we meant to do. A lettuce, 'cause your mum and dad would not let us alone. I won't put in the truffles, you've got truffles of your own. An artichoke for the hearty jokes your father used to tell. And as he was a Welshman, we'll have a leak as well. And your cousin, the religious one, so sanctimonious, for him some loaves and fishes, 'cause it's all he ever does. And there's a heartache and a memory and just a tear or two in a broken-hearted lover's stew. There is a radish, 'cause you kept repeating that your love was true. A beetroot for the way I said that I'd be true to you. Some shallots for the times I said I love you such a lot. Some capers to remind me of what up to which we got. A turnip for the way you always used to turnip late. A melon for the melancholy way I used to wait. A chili for how I felt while I waited for you. And a marrow to remind me of what I was frozen to. And there's a heartache and a memory and just a tear or two in a broken-hearted lover's stew. There is a Swede to remind me of the man you left for me. An egg because you used to egg me on incessantly. And your little baby brother, what a messy little kid. For him some wine and water, 'cause it's all he ever did. Oh, I was fond of olives, and you liked herbs, I know. I gave up seeing Olive, but Herb didn't want to go. So for the man who won you, there is one thing I must do. Put in some sage and onions, 'cause he wants stuffing too. And there's a heartache and a memory and just a tear or two in a broken-hearted lover's stew.
Oh, pooh!
You ain't heard nothing yet.
This episode of Raise a Laugh was broadcast on the 11th of October 1949. Ted Ray was the popular British comedian of the 1940s and 1960s. He's probably best remembered for his radio show Raise a Laugh. As a music hall performer, he would play the violin badly as part of his act Nedio the Gypsy Violinist. In 1949, he started his own radio show making a success of it, but neither the name Nedio or Charlie Alden, Ted Ray's real name, appeared anywhere in the show. Instead, Alden called himself Ted Ray, after a golfer, and it was this name that was used in the show. Raise a Laugh was a domestic comedy with musical interludes, and featured one or two well-known names in supporting roles during the early part of their careers. Based around the fictitious Cannon Inquiry Agency, characters would include Ray's wife, played by Kitty Blewett, his brother-in-law, played by Fred Yule. An early appearance by Kenneth Connor as Sidney Mincing, and billing himself as an impressionist, a young 23-year-old Peter Sellers.
Raise a laugh. When you're feeling sad and blue, just raise a laugh, and soon you'll find you're losing that frown. A smile will spread all over the town. Don't give in, try and win. Don't be like a passport photograph. Come on and meet Ted Ray, he'll chase your troubles away.
And raise a laugh.
Ted Ray.
Thank you, boys and girls. I went down to Ascot last week. I walked back. What a shocking day I had. I don't mind losing my money, but when a horse in the third race comes over and says, well, had enough, that's too much. Straight from the horse's mouth. You know, the bookmakers are doing very badly lately. I feel so sorry for the poor bookmaker. You know what a bookmaker is, don't you? A bookmaker is a pickpocket who lets you use your own fingers. Yes, I know. I saw one young apprentice on a horse I fancied. I said, well, do you stand any chance, son? He said, yeah, but I wish the horse didn't have a flat head. Poor kid, I didn't have the heart to tell him he was sitting the wrong way around. During the third race, I said to a fellow next to me, how's number 14 doing, old man? He looked through his glasses and he said, he's lying fourth, old boy. I said, good. Do you think he'll win? He said, I don't think so. The jockey's lying seventh. Anyway, that's enough about racing. I went down to Smithfield Market yesterday. There was a shocking commotion going on. There was a live bull running about. You know, it's nice to see the meat chasing the men, isn't it? By the way, isn't it marvelous about Sammy the Seal swimming the channel? All they did was throw headings in front of him, and there he was. Ernie Bevan's going to try the Atlantic next week. They're going to throw dollar bills in front of him. When I was in America, I went to one of those Red Indian camps. You know, it's marvelous how they send messages by smoke signals. Really wonderful. There was one Red Indian rolling about, beating the ground with his fists and crying his eyes out. I said to the chief, what's he doing? Is it a war dance? He said, no. He's just found out that the girl he's been corresponding with for 7 years has turned out to be a volcano. The name was Etna. Anyway, fruit is getting a little bit scarce, you know. Fruit, don't you think fruit is getting scarce? Been very good to see, but I saw a barrow boy in Westminster yesterday. I said, got any good dates under your barrow? He said, dates? I said, yes. He said, nah, dates? He said, you better ask Gatley. He's got to smash it up his sleeve. Friend of mine, very, very old, went for a holiday to the Isle of Wight. While he was there, he collapsed and passed away, poor fellow, so they brought him home. I went round to his house, and his wife said to me, would you like to see him? I said, yes. She said, there he is. I said, poor old Charlie. But he looks well, doesn't he? She said, well, he ought to. He's just had a fortnight's holiday in Shanklin. So long. I'll see you in a minute.
How you gonna keep them down on the farm after they've seen Paris? How you gonna keep them from Piccadilly jazzing around and painting the town? How you gonna keep them away from harm? That's a mystery.
They'll never want to see a rake or plow, and who the deuce can parley-voo a cow?
How you gonna keep them down on the farm after they've seen Paris?
Reuben, Reuben, I've been thinking, said his wifey dear. Now that all is peaceful and calm, the boys will soon be back on the farm.
Mr. Reuben started winking and slowly rubbed his chin. He pulled his chair up close to Mother and he asked her with a grin, how you gonna keep them down on the farm after they've seen Paris? How you gonna keep them from Piccadilly jazzing around and painting the town? How you gonna keep them away from harm? That's a mystery.
They'll never want to see a rake or plow, and who the deuce can parley-voo a cow?
How you gonna keep them down on the farm after they've seen Paris? After they've seen Paris.
Thank you, boys and bells. And next week the boys and girls will sing, I never pinch bulbs on the railway, and yet I'm badly treated. Thank you, sir. Did you ever go up in an aeroplane at night? Did you ever look down and see those millions of twinkling lights from the little houses below? Lovely little houses all over Britain. Ah, yes. But did you ever stop to think what's going on in those little houses? A Cold War. Give up, boys. Don't struggle. You haven't got a chance. This is what happened to me last night as I arrived home from the office. The silly idiot! The stupid fool!
Well, that's a nice way to talk to your wife.
Not you, darling, not you.
Oh.
I'm talking about Johnson from the office.
Oh, what did he do, dear?
Ah, it's my own fault, I suppose. He drove me home in his car, doing 45 in a built-up area.
Well, what happened?
We were gonged.
Gonged?
Yes, gonged. And talking about gongs, I must tell you this. Oh, that chump. That man, what an idiot. Do you know what he stopped? He stopped to buy a present for his wife.
Oh, yeah.
And what do you think he was going to buy?
What, darling?
A gong. A dinner gong. Pardon my cracked lip. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I soon talked him out of that.
Yeah, but Ted, I think that's a very nice idea. All the smart people have dinner gongs.
All the smart people have dinners.
Well, myself, I think it's a wonderful idea, darling. Just imagine. You'd come home from the office, then you'd pop into the bathroom to wash your hands, and then I'd ring the gong to let you know dinner's ready.
Listen. If a dinner's cooked properly, I can smell it. I don't have to hear it.
Well, Ted, it would look awfully nice hanging in the hall.
Now, listen, Kitty, just let's get one thing figured out before we go any further. If ever you bought one of those things, I'd hang you in the hall. Now, where's my evening paper?
Well, here it is, dear.
Ah, that's it. What a day I've had. Oh, dear, am I glad to be home. Now, what's this? Joey Brown eats a banana sideways. He could do it, too, could Joe? Yeah.
Ted?
Mm-hmm?
What's wrong with a gong?
I don't like them.
Well, why not?
I don't like them.
Well, why not?
My mother was frightened by a boxer. Now, be quiet, dear, and let me read the paper. I've had a hard day.
Well, just think, darling. I'd bang the gong every time there was a big, juicy steak for you.
Who wants a gong you only ring 4 times a year? Let's have a look now. What's this? Oh, Princess Elizabeth horse one, eh? That's nice.
Ted, darling.
Oh, what is it?
Although you don't like gongs, you do love me, don't you?
Yes, dear.
And you know I wouldn't do anything to hurt you.
Yeah. You're the most wonderful person in the world, darling. The most beautiful, the most sensible, the most efficient and pleasant wife a man could ever wish to have. Now, will you shut up and let me read the paper?
How dare you speak to me like that, you beast? I can't bear to be in the same room with you.
Women. What have I done now? I just want to read my paper and she goes up in the air. What's that? Who did that? Kitty, what was that noise? Who did it?
It was me, beating my gong.
Beating your gong?
Yes. You see, I bought one. Here it is, and I'll do it again.
I'm ready. I've got my plate.
Oh, get out. That's all I needed.
Oh, but I've come to answer the gong.
Well, beat it.
Oh. I'm sorry, Nelson, dear. Dinner isn't ready yet.
Well, it's not fair. Building up my hopes. Look, I'm dribbling.
Well, go and sign on for Chelsea.
What do you say?
I said go and sign on for Chelsea.
Why, you mean lot. That's what you are.
Now, you see what you've done? We'll never have a moment's peace with him. Oh, well, so you've done it, eh? You've bought one.
Yes.
How much?
Well, it's mounted in oak.
How much?
And it gives a beautiful note, dear.
How many beautiful notes did you give?
£4, 19 and 6.
£4, 19 and 6. Give me strength.
Oh, are you angry, Ted?
No, darling, no. I'm just furious. What a waste of money.
Oh, but Ted, darling,
you've been going to the pictures too much. Who strips to the waist to beat it, Nelson or me?
I thought you'd like it. I thought you wouldn't mind.
Well, I don't, and I do.
You want me to return it? You don't approve?
Yeah, I do, and I don't. But get one thing straight, Kitty. I'm not going to pay for it.
Oh, but just look at it, Ted. It's beautiful. It was made by a brass finisher.
A brass finisher?
Mm-hmm.
I married one.
Yes.
£4, 19 and 6. I have to work like 2 men for that.
Yes, dear.
In fact, I work like 4 men.
I know you do, dear.
Yeah. You know what I am?
No, Ted.
I'm the Radio Revelers. 4 men, 1 gong. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Kitty. You're not going to get me to pay for it.
But it's only once in a lifetime.
I don't care. I'm adamant.
You're what?
Adamant. I don't know what it means, but that's what I am.
But, darling, I tried to tell you. I just couldn't get down to it.
You should be down to it now, on your knees, begging for mercy.
But I don't want mercy.
Then get on your knees and beg for something else.
Well, Ted, it's a bargain.
A bargain. A bargain, she says. £4, 19 and 6, a bargain. For another 10 bob, we could have got the Dagenham Girl Pipers.
I'm sorry, Ted.
I know what's done this. I know the cause of all this. Rebop. That's it. The modern music. £4.19 and 6 to let us know we're having our dinner. I'll clear the attic out and have bells fitted.
Bells?
Yes, then we'll hire a team of bell ringers and let the neighbors know we're having our dinner.
Ted, there's one thing I'd like to ask you.
Yeah, I know. For me to pay the bill when it comes. Well, listen. You bought it, they sent it, we've got it, and you've had it. Nothing will make me pay for that gong.
But I've already paid for it.
Oh, yes? Well, where did you get the money?
Well, I was out shopping and I met Mrs. Higgins.
Mrs. Higgins?
Yeah, you see, she lent me the £5.
Kitty, you borrowed £5 knowing you couldn't pay it back?
Yes, Ted.
That's a clever girl. Well, you're not getting me to pay it.
You mean you just won't pay it?
No. You made your own bed, now you can butter it on both sides.
There you are. You see, that's what I get for being a good wife. My mother always said I should never have married you.
What? Your mother tried to stop me from marrying you?
That's right.
Oh, how I've wronged that woman.
Oh. I know. You don't love me anymore.
Of course I love you anymore. It's Mrs. Higgins I don't love. She encourages you. Well, she can just whistle for the $5.
But, Ted, don't you see, it wasn't her money. She borrowed it off her husband. And, well, I said I'd pay it back tonight.
Pay her back tonight? Well, you're not getting the money out of me. Wait a minute. Where did Sam Higgins get £5? He's owed me a $5 for 12 months.
Well, you see, he's...
Oh, wait a minute. It's like being trying to get blood out of a stone with him. But wait. I see the light. Mrs. Higgins got it from him instead.
Uh-huh.
You got it from Mrs. Higgins.
That's right.
Do you know what you've done, Kitty?
What, darling?
You've got my long-lost $5 back. That's a clever girl.
Oh. Well, thank you, Ted.
What a wife. What a lucky man. What a clever girl. You've got what you want, and I've got my... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I haven't got any money. I haven't got my $5. You know what's happened to me?
What, darling?
I've been gonged.
We bring you melody from out of the sky, my brother and I.
Hello, everyone. This is Bob and Alf Pearson. Our melody this week tells for the first time the story of that lucky old sun.
Up in the morning, out on the job, work like the devil for my pay. But that lucky old sun has nothing to do but roll around heaven all day. Toil for my woman, fight for my kids, sweat till I'm wrinkled and gray, while that lucky old sun has nothing but roll around heaven all day. Good Lord above, can't you know I'm pining? Tears all in my eyes. Send down that cloud with a silver lining. Lift me to paradise. Show me that river, take me across, wash all my troubles away. Like that lucky old sun, give me nothing to do but roll around heaven all day. Oh Lord, I'm tired and weary of pain. Please, Lord, forgive me if I complain. Up in in the morning, out on the job, I work like the devil for my pay. But that lucky old sun has nothing to do but roll around heaven all day. Toil for my woman, I fight for my kids, sweat till I'm wrinkled and gray. While that lucky old sun has nothing to do but roll around heaven all day. Good Lord above, can't you know I'm pining? Tears all in my eyes. Send down that cloud with a silver lining. Lift me to paradise. Show me that river, take me across, wash all my troubles away. Like that lucky old sun, give me nothing to do but roll around heaven all day. Roll around heaven all
And now we present Ted Ray as George, the man with a conscience. The long-suffering Mr. Rivers, editor of the Daily Bugle, is once more forced to send George out on an important mission.
You sent for me, Mr. Rivers?
Aye, I did, George. Tell me, do you know anything about motor cars?
Well, the girl I was out with last night said I had a very fierce clutch.
Really?
Yes.
What's she like?
Gin and Yanks.
Oh, well, never mind. Never mind that at all now. I've got a job to do. I've got to improve my circulation.
Shall I rub your legs?
Aye. Don't rub them too hard. What are you talking about?
Sorry, Mr. Rivers, I'm sorry.
Now, look here.
Yes.
Get down to the motor show and bring me back a full report.
Motor show? Oh, yes. Oh.
What's the matter?
I'm not a very good driver.
Oh, nonsense. You're the best driver I've ever seen.
I am?
Yes, you're driving me crackers. Now, get out.
This way for the motor show. Overseas boys only.
Well, I'm from California.
Straight through, Senator. Immediate delivery.
Say, I'm from New York Broadway.
Straight through, Governor. Immediate delivery.
I'm from Tooting Broadway.
Come back in 3 years.
Oh, dear. Overseas buyers only. I'll never get in.
George.
Yes, Conscience?
It's your own fault you can't get in.
Why? What did I do?
You won the war.
Yeah. Yeah. But I must get into the motor show.
You'll have to disguise yourself as an American.
How am I going to do that?
Put on your horn-rimmed glasses and knock off that Boy Scout's hat.
That's a good idea. Oh, Sonny.
Yes, sir?
Have you done your good deed for today, son?
Yes, sir. I helped an old lady across the road.
That's a good boy.
Yes, and it wasn't easy either. She didn't want to go.
Well, that's nice. Well, would you like to do your good deed for tomorrow?
Yes, please.
Well, lend me your hat.
Yes, sir. Dip, dip, dip.
Dob, dob, dob. Oh, and Sonny.
Yes, sir.
Here's fourpence. Go and wash your knees. Well, Conscience, how's that? In this hat and horn-rimmed glasses, I feel like Truman.
Yes, you've created a precedent.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have. Well, here I go.
Don't forget to speak with an American accent.
Right, I'll put a clothes peg on my nose.
This way for the motor show. Overseas boys only.
Well, I swear, gee willikers, you all. Shut my mouth. This am the best little old motor show in the whole wide world. Yes, sirree.
Good morning, sir. We're always glad to see the Russians.
Well, what a wonderful show.
Wonderful, George. Look at that streamlined chassis.
You mean that lovely drop head?
No, that lovely redhead. Go on. Go over and test her batteries.
Oh, shut up. I've got a job to do.
Yes, and she's just the job.
Oh, quiet, you. I'll go and have a word with this salesman. Good morning, old boy.
Old boy, you're supposed to be an American.
Oh, yes. Hiya, neighbor. How is your wall? I guess I got $15 million to kind of throw away around here.
$15 million? Oh, sir, how many cars will you take?
Well, I don't know.
Well, let's go and have a little drink and talk it over. Waitress?
Hello.
What will you have, sir?
Well, I guess I'll have a mint julep.
We ain't got any of them. You'll have to have a mild and bitter with a bit of lettuce stuck in it here.
Well, thanks, honey child. Regards.
Oh, regards. Well, sir, how many cars will you buy?
Well, I was thinking about 500.
500? Have another drink.
Why, sure. Regards.
Regards. Wonderful. And they're only $1,500 each.
$1,500? What do you think I am, sir? A carpetbagger, sir? I'll have you know I'm from Virginia.
No, Virginia, Turkish only.
Who is that woman? $1,500, sir. That's too cheap. I'm not buying roller skates. I'll try the next stand, sir.
I heard that, sir, and you're so right. Those cars are very shoddy jobs.
Is that so?
Yes, and you know that if you blow the horn, the mudguards fall off.
You don't say so.
Oh, I do say so. And now I'll take our car, the Hardly Able.
The Hardly Able?
Yes, sir. One drives and four push, and it has no engine.
No? Well, how does it run, sir?
It runs on its reputation. Now, how many would you like?
Well, I guess I'll...
Come and have a drink. Waitress?
Hello.
Oh, she's back again. Well, I'll have a white lady, you all.
What, lady? What do you think this is, the windmill? What, lady? You'll have a brown ale.
But I don't like brown ale.
What did you say, sir?
Regards.
Regard, yes.
How are you all feeling, sir?
Oh, fine. Now then, sir, how about the car?
How about another drink, you
Drink?
all?
Oh, yes, of course. Waitress?
Hello.
Bring me all a double whiskey.
Double whiskey? You ain't half gonna get tight.
Regards.
Regards, yes. Now, you know, our cars are very cheap, sir. Only $2,000.
$2,000? I'll put my bag of gold against your bag of gold any time, sir. I have a good mind to get the next paddle steamer out of here.
But sir, I mean...
Oh, shut up. $2,000. I'm not buying scooters, sir. I'll try the next 4 stands.
George.
What do you want, Conscience, sir?
You've had a couple.
I know I have you all.
You've got me tight as well.
You silly old Conscience, it just serves you right. You shouldn't smell my breath.
Aha, an overseas bar. Now then, sir.
What about a drink?
Why, of course.
Yes.
Let's go into the cocktail bar. Now then, what's your pleasure, sir?
Blondes, but right now I'll have a scotch.
Oh, jolly good. Waitress.
Hello, waitress. You're a nice little girl, aren't you? What's your pretty little name?
Crystal Jollybottom, you thought?
Oh, come on, give us a kiss.
Oh, stop it! You stop pushing me. You've caught me in it on the beer pump.
Oh, don't be like that. Come on.
Stop it! Oh, your program's sticking in me half-pint measure.
Oh, come on, let's have some fun.
Oh, you're drunk, you are. I've been watching you.
Come on, give us another drink. Regards.
Regards. How many cars will you buy, sir?
You've had one over the 8.
You mean one over the 18?
18 cars. Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. Thank you, sir.
What are you talking about? Don't be so silly. Cars? I can't afford any cars.
What?
I'm from the Bugle. The good old bugler. Regards.
The Bugle? A newspaper man?
Yeah, a newspaper man.
You're not an overseas bar. You're an imposter, sir. Get out, get out.
Okay, I'm going. I can take a hint. It doesn't need a house to fall on me, you know. I know what I'm no wanted, I can tell you that. And oh, Charlie, by the way.
What?
I can't even drive.
Get out. Well, George, my lad, did you get the report of the... George,
George, what are you doing in that condition?
Mr. Rivers, would you please stand still while you're talking to me?
Stand still?
Yes. Old man Rivers, you keep on rolling along.
By gumladder, you'll be sorry for this. Where do you think you've been?
Oh, I've had a wonderful day. A wonderful day. I've been to the Brewers exhibition. You never saw so many cars in your life.
All for this week, boys and girls, how that old clock does go round. We'll be with you next week when once more we'll help you to
Raise a laugh, raise a laugh. Don't be like a fast-foot photograph.
Gloomy days soon will pass. Come on, folks, raise up your glass
and raise a laugh.
You have been listening to Ted Ray and Raise a Laugh with Kitty Blewett, Bob and Alf Pearson, the Bows and the Bells, Fred Ewell, Peter Sellers, Patricia Hayes, and Leslie Perrins. The dance orchestra was conducted by Stanley Black. The program was written by Eddie McGuire and Ted Ray. Production by George Enns.
Now, here comes the music.
Do I look bothered?
Oh, you are awful, but I like you. Oh, not again, Ken. I'll tell you when, Ken. Wait until the picture begins to start. Through the news and trailer you was blowing in me ear. Me mum would die if she was here, so oh, not again, Ken. Honestly, men can suppose the lady usher it turns and sees it's not nice, Ken. Told you twice, Ken, so not again, Ken, please. If you think I'm the kind who doesn't mind, I'll have you know I'm not. If you think I'm the sort like what you thought, it's time you knew that I knew what's what. So, oh, not again, Ken. Count up to 10, Ken. Get yourself a chalk ice and do cool down. Never knew a fella who created such a fuss, like sitting next to an octopus. So, oh, not again, Ken. Maybe now and then, Ken, but you're forever taking liberties. You're no gent, Ken. The earring's getting bent, Ken. Oh, not again, Ken, please. Oh, Ken. Oh, please. Ken, don't. Well, I don't mind a nudge during the adverts, but you might lay off during the big feature. No, not again, Ken. You're even worse than Len, Ken, for larky goings on in the 2 and 3s. It's not right, Ken. I only said I might, Ken. So till we have our good night squeeze. Oh, not again, Ken. I said, please don't, Ken. You are awful. Don't do that.
Ladies and mantelpieces, I am now going to tell you a specially fairy story for the little kiddies. This is all about from a gal where the name is Little Red Hooding Ride, who's got a grandmother what's very ill. She had a stale fish and she got toenail poisoning and very cross whims. So Little Red Hooding Ride takes a green-line charabanc to see her where she lives in the woods. But what she didn't knew was Granny doesn't live there anymore. You see, the big bad wolf came in the cottage and gobbled her up before you could say Cock Rubenstein. After this, he jumps into the granny's bed, and when Little Red Hooding Ride knocks on the bell, thank you, he says, come in if you'll be so kindly, just like the spider said to the flea. Then he jumps out of the bed, Little Red jumps out of the skin, and they both jump out of the window. Now, outside the window is growing a beanstalk, a big beanstalk right up to the ceiling. And on top of this beanstalk is sitting a jackass. And when he sees what's going on downstairs, he calls down the 3 bears, the mother bear, the baby bear, and the lodger bear. And they all come down singing, who's been sleeping in mine porridge? Then out from the porridge pops 24 blacklegs, and they are singing, fee, fi, fo, fum, stick your finger up your pie and pull out a plum. Then also down from the beanstalk comes Dick Fittingcat and his pussy. And they all run after the wolf to save Little Red Hooding Ride from his crutches. Now the wolf is all ready for the battle, and on his side he's got Ellie Bom Bom and the 40 Thieves. Then they all go into the rink, the bell goes sprink. This is a fight, not a wedding. And the referee is Sinbad the tailor. But in the middle of all this excitement comes a fairy. She waves a magic wand on the 3 bears, and all of a suddenly, the baby bear turns into Mickey Mouse. The mother bear turns into Donald Dick, and the lodger bear Cockeye the sailor. Then Little Red Riding Hood remembers what she must be in the home by 12 o'clock the cheapest. So she runs away, and she lives behind her slipper. Well, the prince was passing for a pint, picks up the slipper, and he says, "Whoever slipper this is can be my missus." So he goes straight away to the DBC, and he sends out a Hess-ho Hex. Well, everybody comes along to try and fit on the slipper. First comes Robinson Crusoe with his 3 ugly sisters, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then comes Snow White with the 7 warts. Then comes the old woman what she lived in the boot shop. But nobody could fit on the slipper till up comes little Cinderella. She puts the pumpkin on the prince's head, and it fits him just like it was made for his brother. Then they get married, and they live very happily after this. 'Cause the best man in the marriage was another geezer called Aladdin, what brought with him the magic lamppost. And when he scratched this magic lamppost, out comes a little fairy boy with a lace collar, what his name is Peter Pansy. And he says, "Little Red Riding Hood, you can have a magic wish." So Little Red gives a think, and she says, "Ha, this is what I wish. I wish I was a fairy queen, and if that came to pass, I'd climb up all the rocks and trees and slide down on my hands and knees. Thank you, thank you, thank you." Friends, Romanians, and country geezers, lend me your earrings. I am now going to tell you a specially story what it is hysterical. And this is all about from a fella called William Tell. And what did William tell? I will tell you. Willie came from a country what makes the sweets, Switzerland. And although he was educated by Heaton, he was a champion shot with the arrow. The way this geezer could shoot made Alec James look like he's got a wooden leg. He would put the bow in the arrow. He would stand in a horizontal position, breathing deeply, and he would shoot at the target. Ping! Thank you. Well, if he didn't hit it in the center, you could be absolutely positive what he would hit it right in the middle. Now, this country from Switzerland, they headed up business what they exported milk chocolate. But one day, the country from the next door neighborhood also started exporting milk chocolate. But it was not milk chocolate. It was nut milk chocolate. And they say to the Swiss, "You can stick your chocolate up your pipe and smoke it." But this was a violation from the Munich Agreement, so they went to war. Well, the king from the Swiss sends for William Tell, and he says, "Willie," 'cause he always calls him by his middle name, you see. He says, "Willie, I want you should go and shoot down the foe with your bow." So Willie hides himself in the hills, disguised like a piece of snow, and he goes ping with the bow for the foe. Thank you. Well, from the enemy, some was killed, some was wounded, and the rest was put into a constipation camp. But Willie was captured, and the king from the other country says, "Tell, I want you shall tell me the secrets from the Swedes. If you do," he says, "I'm going to make you a sleepless partner in my business. We'll go half and half, 60-50. But Willie won't talk. So the king sends for the prime misery from the foreign repairs, and he says, Tell, he shall telephone Mrs. Tell, she shall bring his son. It's a little geezer by the name of Muscatel. Did he want raisin? Well, to cut up a long story square, they come on a big sledge with 2 reindeers. And the king says, "Tell, if you don't tell me how many guns you got in the sweet store, then you must shoot it a apple off from your son's nut." But Willie says, "For me to shoot a apple is so simple, I can shoot so good, I could hit a pimple." But in his heart, his knees was shaking, 'cause he's frightened what he might give poor little Muscatel too closely a haircut. Anyway, he won't talk, so they take him out in the backyard, and there stands poor little Muscatel with a apple where should be his tilbury hat. So Willie stands on the goal line right outside the penalty area, and he takes a free kick with the arrow. Ping! Well, before you can say 1-2 Cock Robinson, The apple falls on the floor in 3 halves. Ping, ping, ping. 3 halves, 3 halves. Can't you understand properly English? Well, the king was so surprised what he says, go home, William Tell, and take with you your little son Muscatel. And he puts in the paper the result of the war, what it is a draw, 6-7. And if you don't think what this is the properly true story, then look it up for yourself in the Concyclopedia Harmonico. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
The Navy Lark is a radio sitcom about life aboard a British Royal Navy frigate named HMS Troutbridge. Episodes were self-contained, although there was continuity within the series, and sometimes a reference to a previous episode might be made. A normal episode consisted of Sub-Lieutenant Phillips, scheming Chief Petty Officer Pertwee, and bemused Lieutenant Murray trying to get out of trouble they created for themselves without their direct superior, Commander, later Captain, Thunderguts Povey finding out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present The Navy Lark with our 3 stars Dennis Price, John Pertwee, and Leslie Phillips. Problems and headaches come from a variety of sources. The Navy is no exception to this rule, but in their case, the problems and headaches always come from exactly the same source, a detachment on a small island a few miles off Portsmouth.
How long before we sight the island, Coxswain?
About a couple more minutes, sir.
Oh, thank heavens for that.
You may be a damn good commander, sure, but you're a shocking sailor.
That's the trouble. I like the Navy. I just wish they didn't have boats.
Oh, we'll soon sight the island now.
If it's still there. Huh?
Yeah. If it's still there? Well, it must be there.
Not with the unit that one's got on it, Povey.
What do you mean?
With that shower, they'd move the damn thing anywhere. If the price was right.
But you can't move an island.
I'll lay you 6-4 they can.
Nonsense. You've been too soft, Commander Shaw. Discipline is what they need. Well, if I have any trouble with them, I'll split them up. Get them posted all over the confounded globe.
Oh, I wouldn't do that, old man.
Why not?
Well, last time I tried it, absolutely nothing happened to them. But I got posted myself.
Fascinating. Where to?
3 weeks relief duty commanding a sea fort in the Irish Channel.
I didn't know they were still manned.
They're not.
Good grief. But surely you're not suggesting that you, as a commander, a senior officer, could have been posted by that lot on the island?
Oh, I can't prove it. All I know is that the first time I visited them after I got back, they kept winking at me.
Winking?
Well, I felt as though I'd been on Jankers.
Island ahead, sir.
Oh, thank you, Coxswain.
And try and keep the wretched thing steady.
Aye, aye, sir.
Hey, you! Keep off!
What was that?
It's the old boy in that rowing boat, sir.
Go away! Get that blistering boat out of it! Alter course, will you? There won't be a fish between here and Java by the time you finish.
Oh, dear, I gather we're disturbing the calm in his territorial waters.
So that's it. Normal course, Coxswain.
Aye, sir.
And try and find a calm bit.
Aye, sir.
At least I start with the element of surprise. They don't know I'm coming.
Well, they haven't shot at us.
Shot at us?
They usually do.
Good grief.
They call it gunnery practice.
I say, that's a bit much.
It's also a bit dangerous. They're damn bad shots.
I see. Well, all things considered, perhaps it's just as well they don't know we're coming.
Hey, Ginger, I'm going to tell you something.
Don't bother, I'm having a kip.
We are being victimized.
Victimized? Why?
This is the second time we've been on guard duty in a month.
Oh, so what?
Someone's cooking the rota.
You mean as well as us? That's a dead liberty.
Stuck on this jetty in the sun for 8 hours. Persecution, that's what it is.
Here, Tuppy.
What?
Here, what's that droning noise?
Well, how should I know?
Well, lift your great Welsh bonce up and have a look.
You look, it's your turn.
No, it isn't.
Blimey! Tuffy! Quick!
What's up?
It's old Saul in the launch from Pompey.
What? Start gunnery practice.
It's too late. They're practically here. Nip back and get the blowers to number 1.
It's your turn to do the nipping.
Don't argue. I'll hold them off as long as I can, but get a move on.
Probably something a girl just wouldn't understand.
Oh, quite. Lieutenant Phillips, I'm sure number 1 wouldn't like to see you sitting in my in tray.
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. I suppose I ought to be in the one marked pending.
I think I'd better get a new one for you marked to be dealt with later. Oh, mind the ink.
Why, there's plenty of it in... Oh, law. I say I'm frightfully sorry.
Frankly, so am I.
Oh, well, it's some consolation being in the Wrens, I suppose.
Yes, it is, isn't it? What is?
It doesn't show. If you'd been in khaki, you'd have looked like a sultana pudding.
Thank you very much.
Well, you're the right shape. I mean, you're certainly the right consistency.
You do try, don't you?
Desperately.
Hello? Extension 35? Oh, no, but Sub-Lieutenant Phillips is here. Well, hold on. You'll do. It's the jetty guard.
Oh, thanks. Sub-Lieutenant Phillips speaking. What? Oh, lummy. Commence gunnery practice at once. Well, delay them as long as you can. I'll contact number 1.
What's the matter?
Shrimp boats are coming. We're frying tonight. Is Commander Shaw and the Pompey launch? I must warn number 1.
He's in his office.
Well, that's a novelty for a start. Now, you better...
Yes?
I don't know, but this is an emergency. If you think of anything, do it. On the other hand, perhaps not. Here we go.
Come in.
Sir?
Yes, Phillips?
Panic station, sir. Pompey launch. He's just approaching the jetty.
Then you better order gunnery practice.
It won't work this time, sir. They're too close inshore.
They're what? Well, how did they manage to get so close?
With the engine, sir. I mean, we don't know, sir, but they have.
No, they may just have to put up with them this time, I suppose. Pity. Word's gone round.
Has it? Oh, good.
Mr. Phillips, I'm asking you, not telling you.
Oh, well, that makes a change. Well, that is, I presume it has, sir.
As a precaution, you better make certain that Chief Petty Officer Pertwee knows.
Aye, sir.
And tell Chief Petty Officer Pertwee, with my compliments, that I don't know what he's doing. I most certainly don't want to know. But whatever it is, he'd better stop it at once and put it back. Whatever it was.
Aye, sir.
Yeah, then I think I shall be able to relax.
Aye, sir. You will, sir?
I've got a watertight answer for everything, Mr. Phillips.
You have, sir? Oh, good. What is it?
I shall see the authorities realize that any discrepancies are entirely your fault, Mr. Phillips.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. That's terrible. Oh. Oh, no, sir, you couldn't.
Couldn't I, Mr. Phillips?
Yes, you could. This is awful. I'd better warn CPO Pertwee at once. He should be in his stores.
Correction, Mr. Phillips. The Navy's stores.
As you say, sir. But you'll never convince CPO Pertwee of that.
We can but try, Mr. Phillips. We can but try.
Right, who is it?
Able Seaman Johnson, sir.
Give the password.
Scrounge.
Enter, friend. Well, Johnson, and what does the Navy's latest dead end recruiting want?
Well, I was wondering what those crates were doing outside the clothing store, sir. They looks a bit irregular.
I see. Well, now, look, my son, I realise that you're new here, but there are certain strict rules you must observe.
Yes, sir.
Rule 1. Nothing around here is irregular. If the Navy don't know about it, Pertwee does. You know, is that understood?
Yes, sir. Rule 2, sir.
Same as Rule 1, and keep your perishing mouth shut.
Yes, sir. Sir?
Well?
What are those crates doing outside the clothing store, sir?
Minding their own flaming business!
Yes, sir.
I can see we're going to have a bit of trouble with you, my lad. But if you're so interested in those crates, you may as well get them onto the handcart and trot off down to the station with them. They're full of uniform.
Oh, they're for another unit, then?
Yeah, well, you could put it like that. It's a film unit. An uncle of mine happens to work in their wardrobe department, and we've come to a little arrangement, you know.
Well, you can't do that, sir.
Rule 3, I can. For the last 6 years, the gear in those crates has supported Jack Hawkins with monotonous regularity.
Good gracious. Oh, I thought the uniforms in his pictures always looked authentic.
Well, now you know why. They are. Yeah. Stalls here, we're closed. Try again tomorrow.
But we're not closed, Chief.
We are, if that's who I think it was, mate.
Who, Chief?
Number 1. Look, my bet is he spotted those perishing crates outside the clothing store.
Ooh, that's torn it.
Yeah, he certainly has. He'll want 25% of my profit.
What? Hey, you mean he'd allow you to do it if he gets a cut?
No, certainly not. He's an officer and a gentleman.
Ah.
However, he's also treasurer of the unit's comfort fund. And that's got a very expensive blind eye.
Oh, you don't get it.
You wouldn't, but it's quite simple. Look, if number 1 knew that I was handing out those uniforms, he'll calculate my profit on the deal, and as treasurer of the comfort fund, he'll suggest a 25% donation to the kitty.
Ah.
Yeah, so remember, my lad, what number 1 don't see officially, the comfort fund declares a divvy over. In which case, Chief Petty Officer Pertwee's going to have the dead needle with you.
Hello? Extension 26. Yeah, who wants him? Pertwee's...
Pertwee speaking, Mr. Phillips, sir. Right? No, I don't know. Must be a bad line, sir. Hey, Wood? A launch? There can't be. There wasn't any gunfire. We'll see. Righto, sir, righto. Yeah, give us 5 minutes and we'll be in the clear.
Trouble brewing, sir?
Worse than that, it's ruddy well fermented. Look, my son, you get the black paint and the stencils quick, and then nip over to those crates outside the clothing store.
Well, what do you want on them? They're already marked.
Yeah, you're telling me they're marked Destination Vanguard Film Corporation Wardrobe, right?
Right.
Right, when I do this, look, blot out Film Corporation, put HMS in front of Vanguard, and make Wardrobe read Wardroom.
I get it.
Yeah, but if you haven't, I shall, right between the flaming ears. So come on, look lively.
Aye, aye, sir. Look out, number 1.
CBO Pertwee.
Not guilty, sir.
Now, I wonder what I've just missed. What were you up to, Chief?
Nothing, sir. No, nothing at all.
Then you'd better report to the sick bay.
Sick bay, sir? Me?
Yes, you, sir. Any time you're inactive, you're ill.
Well, the Chief was just explaining how the stores are run, sir.
Really? Now, there's a top-secret lecture I'd love to have heard.
It was an abridged version, sir.
That I can imagine. Chief, it seems we're about to receive an inspection from Commander Shaw. Now, as I was passing, I thought I'd make absolutely certain you knew about it and were, prepared.
Well, I had heard, sir.
Splendid. Well, carry on, then.
Oh, sir.
There is one thing. On my way here, I fell over some crates outside the clothing store.
Crates?
Crates, Chief. You might have them moved before inspection.
Oh, it's all right, sir. I'm just going to repaint them.
That's it!
Quite, Chief. I leave you to deal with the matter. Incidentally, I put you down for 30 tickets for the Unit Comfort Fund's next dance, Chief.
Yes, sir, I was thinking of taking 30 tickets?
30 doubles, of course.
Yes, all right.
Good show, good show. Carry on. Grand morning, isn't it?
Grand morning, isn't it? Grand morning, isn't it? Those tickets are 25 bob each. Ooh, I could spit. Here, wait a minute. Here, just a minute. What's today?
Thursday, Chief.
Oh, blimey, it's torn it. Look, I'd forgotten all about Operation Fag End. Oh, I bet Sub-Lieutenant Phillips has as well. Here, give me that blower. The blower, the blower. I've got to have a word in his shell like, a bit sharpish.
Hello, extension 35. Sub-Lieutenant Phillips. Who's calling? 1 moment, please. Excuse me, homewrecker. You're wanted on the phone.
Oh, thanks. Hello. Sub-Lieutenant Homewrecker speaking. Sub-Lieutenant Phillips speaking.
Chief Petty Officer Pertwee, is it?
Yes? Oh, as it's you? What's gone wrong?
A slight oversight, sir. I trust the Pompey inspection won't take too long, sir, because, it's Thursday, sir.
Is it? Oh, yes, so it is. Happy Thursday, Pertwee. Now, what about it?
The helicopter is due over from Jersey with your 500 every duty-free thanks this morning.
Oh, good, yeah, I had to buy 20 in the wardroom last night. Oh, law.
I'll contact a relative of mine at Fleet Air Arm Control and have the chopper returned to base. All diverted.
Oh, good show. Pertwee?
Aye, sir.
Do you always have a relative on these occasions?
Well, we do our best, sir. We're very prolific.
Yes, I noticed. Oh, I'm wanted in number 1's office. I expect the launch party has arrived. Keep me posted, will you?
Aye, sir.
Come in.
You buzzed, sir?
Yes, I buzzed. Come in, Phillips. Commander Shaw, you know, and this is Commander Povey who's taking over from him.
This unit is slack, slovenly, and incompetent.
Oh, pleased to meet you, sir.
Apparently, there was a certain amount of difficulty in getting the Pompey launch tied up, Mr. Phillips.
A certain amount. Thanks to that bungling rating of yours on the jetty, my coxswain's exhausted. If he threw that rope once, he threw it 25 times. I thought the fool would never catch it.
I'm sure Mr. Phillips has a complete explanation, sir. You have, haven't you?
No. Yes. Well, as you see, it's not always easy, sir, to catching a rope.
Not easy? Good grief, it's only 3 feet at low tide.
Yes. Well, perhaps your rope is only 2 feet long, sir.
Idiot.
A good try, Phillips, but no.
Number 1, I want an urgent signal sent to Admiralty. There's a blasted launch full of morons messing about in our waters, fouling up the fishing for a month. It's got to be stopped.
And who is this?
The captain, sir, Lieutenant Commander Stanton.
Well, who the devil are these two?
The morons. The inspection from Portsmouth, sir.
How do you do, sir?
Damn badly.
Well, this is Commander Povey. He's taking over from Commander Shaw at Portsmouth, sir.
Well, he's no fisherman.
Oh, I don't know. He's caught us.
You were saying, Mr. Phillips?
Was I? I shouldn't have been, should I?
No.
Hello? Phillips here. Who? Well, it's just a bit tricky at the moment. Could you ring back later? Hang on, will you?
Who is it, Mr. Phillips?
Poof. It's for you, sir.
Well, speak up, man. Who is it?
It's, I've forgotten.
Forgotten?
Mr. Phillips has a very short memory, haven't you, Mr. Phillips?
No, I don't think so. As a matter of fact, I've got a very... yes, I have. Yes, shocking. I can't even remember who I am sometimes.
Next time, let's hope it's for good.
Oh, more confounded inefficiency. Give me that phone. I'll ask them what they want.
Oh, certainly. No. Oh, please, no, it's red hot.
Can't even take a simple message. Hello. You wish to speak to Lieutenant Commander Stanton? Now, who is it calling? You're the what? I see. I don't think so, but I'll ask him.
Who is it?
It's the Jubilee Fish Cafe. And they want to know if you've had any luck with the skate.
Oh. Well, no. No, I'm afraid not. Just a couple of haddock.
Hard luck, Captain. Hello? No, only a couple of haddock. I understand. What? Oh, I'm sure he will. Goodbye. They'll do, and would you send them down in the jeep as usual?
Call. I don't think I feel very well.
If there's any justice, you'll probably drop dead.
Lieutenant Commander Stanton, before I make any comment about this particular incident, I intend to make a full and thorough inspection of the unit. With your permission, of course.
Oh, yes, sir, of course, by all means.
Have few chairs round, number 1?
Yes, certainly, sir, but might I suggest a little refreshment here first? No sense in rushing off as soon as you get here.
No, thanks.
Perhaps you would like a drink, sir.
No, thank you.
A cup of tea, sir?
No, thanks.
Cigarette?
No, thank you. Anyone would think you were stalling for time.
He is. Oh, my foot. Oh, God.
Sorry, Mr. Phillips. Shall we go, gentlemen?
Fleet Air Arm, Jersey.
Hello, Poppy.
Yes?
It's me again, Chiefy Pertwee. Give me the control tower, quick.
One moment, please.
Control tower? Squadron Leader Pertwee, yeah?
Hello, Nunky. It's me again. Here, about those cigarettes.
What about them?
Well, I've had another idea. Look, if you can't stop that chopper coming here, how about sending up something to shoot it down?
No.
Well, why not? Then you could send out another air sea rescue chopper to pick up the pilot. It'd be a nice bit of practice for you.
Out of the entire family, they always said you were the one who was stark raving bonkers, and they were right. You got yourself in this mess. Get yourself out of it.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, but you're not helping.
That's right, I'm not. Goodbye.
Yeah, traitor.
Ah, Chief, you wanted to see me, I'm afraid.
Oh, yes, sir, yeah. Progress report on Operation Fagenza.
Well?
There isn't any. The helicopter has taken off, and frankly, sir, we've had it.
Why? Can't this relative of yours call it up on the RT and get the pilot to return to base?
Well, it could, but it wouldn't half-start something.
Well, how?
Well, this particular flight is ever so slightly completely unauthorised.
Oh.
And if Nunky calls up the pilot, their rollicking lordships will tumble to it. There's a chopper of theirs churning up a lot of air it's not entitled to.
Oh, law.
Where are our jolly visitors at present, sir?
I'm not sure. Number one is showing them round.
Oh, I can't help hoping he keeps them away from the landing strip for a bit, because that chopper should be here any time now.
Oh, well, not to worry. I told you, I very much doubt if Povey or Shaw will spot the cigarettes anyway.
I have a sneaking suspicion they will, sir. Because apart from your 500, I have another little order on board.
Oh, really? How many?
50,000.
Oh, well, they'll come in handy. How many?
50,000, sir. I have a slight arrangement with the local tobacconist. I'm his wholesaler.
Cool. You know, you're... Just a minute. Did you hear what I hear?
Blimey, it's here! Hey! Take it up a bit! Up a bit! Keep off the grass, can't
you? Well?
No, sir, not very. Do you think I could have an immediate transfer to Foreign Service?
Too late, I'm afraid, Pertwee. Your court-martial's just touching down.
Yeah.
How about signing on for another 21 years, Pertwee?
What for, sir?
Well, I reckon your trial will last about 18 of them.
Will you be my defending officer, sir?
You don't want me, Pertwee. No. You want Lord Goddard.
Don't argue, number one. After everything else I've seen today, I'm not in the least surprised to find a full-scale smuggling going on as well. I want that crate out of that helicopter and onto my launch, and I want it done now. It's evidence.
But, Commander Povey, it's obviously just some silly mistake. I mean, what would we want with 50,000 cigarettes?
I suppose you'll tell me in a minute that there isn't a man on this detachment who smokes.
Well, I don't think we've got one who smokes 50,000 a day. No. Mr. Phillips.
Sir?
Do you know anything about these cigarettes? There seem to be over 50,000 of them.
Oh, no, not me, sir, no. I'm trying to give them up.
Well, if you're worried about your health, I must try and have you posted to somewhere that's bracing.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Like Iceland.
Oh.
Sir. Mr. Phillips, sir, can I see you a minute?
Yes, Goldstein, what do you want? You're on jetty guard, aren't you?
Yes, sir. Persecution, that's what it is. This is the second time...
Well, if you're supposed to be on jetty guard, what are you doing here?
Orders from CPO Pertwee, sir. I have to collect 2 fire axes from the stores for the jetty. Would you sign the indent form, sir?
No, thank you. Try Mr. Phillips.
No, not me. The way things are right now, I'm not signing a thing. Ask Commander Povey.
Oh, very well. Here you are. Now get the axes and get back to the jetty at the double.
Oh, CPO Pertwee's very word, sir. Thank you.
And you can tell that other idiot with you I'm sending in a report of his gross inefficiency along with every other irregularity in this unit.
You know, I have a feeling that report is going to be so long it'll make War and Peace look like a telephone message.
You can be sure of one thing, gentlemen. It will keep the Admiralty in courts-martial for a year at least. And now let's get back to your office, number one.
Yes, certainly, sir. Something tells me Chief Pertwee may want an interview with you sometime soon.
Why the devil should he?
I don't really know, but it's high time he thought of something.
It certainly is.
Hello, Joyce. Are our wandering boys back yet?
The vouchers?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. They're all in number one's office. Can't you see the walls vibrating?
Yeah, splendid. I can't pour oil on the troubled waters.
Come in.
I thought you might want to see me, sir.
Very psychic of you, Pertwee.
Yes.
You know I'm always pleased to see you, particularly on these occasions. Commander Povey seems to require some sort of explanation.
He does, sir?
He does, Chief. I'm sure you have one ready.
Oh, yes, of course I have.
Well done.
Chief Petty Officer Pertwee.
Sir!
I should warn you that after what I have witnessed during my inspection of this detachment, I intend to throw the book at this unit, and at you in particular.
With all due respect, sir, my bet is he's read it.
I have, sir. And very dull I found it and all, sir. That is, sir, with the exception of a certain little chapter on forms authorising the use of small craft by naval officers. Sir.
Forms authorizing the... Just what are you babbling about now?
Yeah, do go on, Chief. It sounds most enterprising.
Yes, and quite by chance, and as a pure coincidence, sir, I had occasion to phone a relative of mine, sir.
He was in good health, I trust?
Yes, excellent, sir. Thank you very much. Now, this relative of mine, sir, if you follow me, he, quite by chance, and as a pure coincidence...
Well, of course.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much indeed. Well, he happened to be in touch with Oxford and Portsmouth, you see. And they happened to mention, quite by chance, and as a pure coincidence...
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Yes, very likely, sir. Well, briefly, sir, it seems that Portsmouth don't seem to have any authority for the use of a certain launch that's tied up to our jetty. Sir.
That's a very irregular, Chief.
Yes, sir, yes, that's what I thought.
Why, that's ridiculous. But Commander Shaw will have seen to it, naturally.
I didn't, you know. You're taking over from me, so I presumed you'd seen to the authority.
But I thought that...
Hard luck, sirs. It would appear that their lordships are quietly confident your launch is not here, but on the end of a piece of string at Portsmouth.
Are you beginning to get an idea of what you're up against yet, Povey?
Yes, insolence. Very well, I'll admit a slight irregularity, which I'll soon put right when we get back.
As you say, sir, it's no more than a slight irregularity at present.
Provided the boat is returned to base undamaged, sir. Of course. If anything... So I say, if anything happens to it, and you had to go back without it...
then there might be quite a sort of inquiry, eh, Pertwee?
Oh, very likely, sir, very likely.
Yes. And as a witness, I should have to...
Oh, yes, naturally, sir, yes. Oh, it's a shame, but what else could you do?
Exactly, and of course my evidence would hardly...
Yeah, quite right, sir, yes. Oh, a tragic end to a promising naval career, sir, just
Go back without it? Damage? What are you talking about? That boat's in perfect order.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Aren't you, Chief?
Oh, of course, sir. But the jetty guard are on the phone in the outer office, and I understand they want to report a small fire.
A fire?
Yes, aboard your launch, sir.
What?
Yes, I thought I smelt burning.
But I...
Steady, Povey. You're going a funny colour.
That's quite right, sir, but don't worry, sir. Don't worry. The boys will soon deal with it, sir. They've got axes.
Of course. Yes, you remember you signed the authority for them, so it's quite in order for them to be used.
Yes, well, I'll just go and speak to the boys, sir.
Pertwee.
Sir?
You were about to say?
Well, of all of... I don't know what to say.
How about game, set, and match?
Exactly. I don't think Commander Povey will be making an adverse report this time after all, Chief. That's right, sir, isn't it?
It's sheer blackmail. But very well. But you won't get away with this. I'll get the lot of you if it's the last thing I do.
Thank you, sir. Fire extinguished and no damage done, sir.
That'll be all, Chief.
Oh, sir. Oh, sir.
What now?
About a certain ill-timed airmail delivery of cigarettes, sir.
Well?
Well, whilst Commander Povey is here, sir, can I have permission to collect some wood from the naval stores? Sir?
Wood? What for?
Well, I thought I'd build a small cigarette kiosk smack bang outside the naffy, sir.
Yes, a very sound scheme, Chief. And as treasurer of the Comfort Fund, I fully approve. We're intending to donate all the profits, of course.
Oh, naturally, sir. You could have your usual 25%.
all the profits?
All, Chief. And the Comfort Fund is extremely grateful, Pertwee.
Yeah, I can imagine. Stun me. 6 on 10, a bob on 20, and I could have made over 450.
That'll be all, Chief. Dismiss.
That was Dennis Price, John Pertwee, and Leslie Phillips working their passage in The Navy Lark, written by Laurie Wyman. Dennis Price was the number one. John Pertwee was the chief petty officer. Leslie Phillips was the sub-lieutenant. Commander Povey was played by Richard Caldicott. Joyce was Pamela Buck. Commander Shaw was Michael Bates. Able Seaman Johnson was Ronnie Barker. And Squadron Leader Pertwee, Teniel Evans. The recorded production was by Alistair Scott Johnston.
Seven old ladies locked in the lavatory. They were there from Sunday to Saturday. Nobody knew they was there. The first was the wife of a deacon in Dover, and though she was known as a bit of a rover, she liked it so much that she thought she'd stay over, and nobody knew she was there. Oh dear, what can the matter be? Seven old ladies locked in the lavatory. They were there from Sunday to Saturday. Nobody knew they was there. The next was an athletic lady named Myrtle, hopped over the top like a steeplechase hurdle. Her glasses got hooked in the stay of her girdle. Nobody knew she was there. Oh dear, what can the matter be? Seven old ladies locked in the lavatory. They were there from Sunday to Saturday. Nobody knew they was there. Now the next old lady was Abigail Humphrey, who settled inside to make herself comfy, but then she found out she could not get her bum free. Nobody knew she was there. Oh dear, what can the matter be? Seven old ladies locked in the lavatory. They were there from Sunday to Saturday. Nobody knew they was there. The next old lady was old Mrs. Bickle, who found herself caught in a desperate pickle. She stopped at a pay booth and hadn't a nickel, so nobody knew she was there. Oh dear, what can the matter be? Seven old ladies locked in the lavatory. They were there from Sunday to Saturday. Nobody knew they was there. The next was the Bishop of Chichester's daughter, who went in to pass some superfluous water. She pulled on the chain and the rising tide caught her. Nobody knew she was there. Oh dear, what can the matter be? Seven old ladies were locked in the lavatory. They were there from Sunday to Saturday. Nobody knew they was there. The next old lady, Elizabeth Bender, was doing all right till a vagrant suspender got all twisted up in her feminine gender, and nobody knew she was there. Oh dear, what can the matter be? Seven old ladies locked in the lavatory. They were there from Sunday to Saturday. Nobody knew they was there. The last was a lady named Jennifer Pym. She only sat down on a personal whim, but she somehow got pinched twixt the cup and the brim, and nobody knew she was there. Oh dear, what can the matter be? Seven old ladies locked in the lavatory. They were there from Sunday to Saturday. Nobody knew they was there.
Here we are then. Put the old flag in.
I hereby claim this territory on behalf of the entire human race
and the East India Dock Road.
So this is the moon crooner's crooner tune. This is the moon spooner spoon in June. Is this the harvest moon all lovers dream of in summertime? Dear, oh dear, they mustn't be loony. There's nothing up here to make them spoony.
I shot my dog this morning. Was he mad? He wasn't very pleased. Once there were 2 Hungarians, now there's millions of them. Our cat doesn't eat meat. Why not? We don't give it any. My brother's the strongest man in the world. He can stick his finger in his ear hole and hold himself out at arm's length. I never use a net. Where is the beam, the gleam that sends lovers dreaming? Where is the light that brightens the night with a silvery glow? If this is the moon they spoon to each night, they're welcome to this gloomy, moony satellite. So this is the moon. It's a gloomy, moony moon, and not the spoony, doony moon we all know. I'll have to tell them not the spoony, doony moon we all know.
Next up is 1 Foot in the Grave, alive and buried. Grumpy Victor Meldrew arrives at work to learn that he's no longer employed and is set to be replaced by a box. With time passing very slowly in his enforced retirement, Victor gripes about newsreaders and worries about becoming a lavatory junkie. Richard Wilson stars as Victor and Annette Crosby as his long-suffering wife Margaret. Adapted for radio by David Rennick from his BBC TV script.
They say I might as well face the truth, but I am just too long in the tooth. So I'm an OAP and wingbean, but I'm not yet quite gone to sea. I may be over the hill now that I have retired, fading away, but I'm not yet expired. Clapped out, run down, too old to save, 1 foot in the grave.
Victor, it's 7:45. Are you going to look lively in a minute? 58322. Speaking. Yes? Oh, yes, hello.
Unbelievable. Was it my imagination, or have they just started building the world's biggest subatomic particle accelerator to explain the very origins of the known universe? Strange, then, that they still can't produce a toilet roll where the perforation's on the same bloody place on either side of the paper. Look at that. Abomination of modern technology.
Yes, all right then. Bye.
You try and tear it here, you get half the neck sheet flapping about there. Every time you tear it, every time.
Is it necessary for you to walk about with your trousers round your ankle?
I just about had enough of it. I have straight. Because it's just I got beyond the joke.
Victor, you're not going to start running that through my sewing machine again at this time of the morning.
Bloody things. Who was that on the phone anyway?
That was Fat Agnes. You know, keeps a celery store in the market. She said she was very sorry to hear your tragic news, but you must try and keep your pecker up.
Tragic news? What tragic news?
She didn't say. She just said not to stick your head in a gas oven because it wasn't the end of the world.
Stick my head in a gas oven? She must have gone completely loopy. Now then, car keys, where are they? Better drop that into the garage this morning as well. Be about as much fun as a kidney infection. 3 times they're supposed to have fixed that gearbox. I mean, that was the ultimate insult last night, wasn't it, on that dual carriageway, being overtaken by 2 blokes pushing a transit van.
Are you ever going to leave this house?
I'm on my way. I'll see you tonight.
Have a good day at work.
Yes, you too.
So there we are then, Victor. I expect it'll take some getting used to. It's bound to. After 26 years behind a security desk, to just come in one day and find you're out of work. I mean, obviously, it'd be a shock for anyone. Are you all right?
I'm sorry?
I thought you looked as if you were going to be sick on the carpet.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, good. Of course, the biggest problem for us was, how do you replace a man like Victor Meldrew? Well, basically, with this box.
Box?
Or to be more accurate, this fully automated programmable wall unit, which we just put up outside the main entrance. And then all our visitors, when they enter, simply feed in a pre-arranged security code, like so.
Good morning. Welcome to Mycroft Watson Associates. Mr. Winfrey will be free very shortly. If you'd like to take a seat, we'll call you just as soon as he's ready.
Isn't it amazing? It does everything you used to do except complain about the air conditioning. Anyway, please don't think I'm rushing you out or anything. As I say, I would have asked you to sit down, but we've just had the chairs reupholstered. Do pop back and visit us, won't you, any time you're passing, giving a minimum of 5 working days' notice and quoting this 6-digit reference number.
Yes, right. Thank you very much.
And we'll see you again very, very soon, I hope. You lucky old thing, eh? A man of leisure at last.
Yes, well, I suppose that rather
Oh, God. What a day! We didn't stop. Suddenly everyone's dying at once. Wreaths, floral tributes. I've never known such a run on lilies. A cornucopia of corpses, Mrs. Treby called it. I don't know where she got that expression.
It was Marmite flavour today.
Sorry?
The empty crisp packet on the flower bed. I was expecting it to be prawn cocktail. Funny how things work out sometimes. I'm thinking of compiling a special reference guide, the Observer's Book of Crap in Your Front Garden. Give me something to do in the years ahead.
What's the matter with you?
I've been replaced by a box.
What are you talking about?
Yes, it's standard procedure, apparently, for a man of my age. The next stage is to stick you inside one.
They haven't retired you.
Haven't they? Oh, good. Was all a hideous dream, then?
What did they say?
Bugger off, I think. General gist of it.
So that's what he was talking about.
Who?
That man at the bus stop. I didn't know him from Adam. He came up to me last Friday and said, "Isn't it a shame about your husband?" Well, I just thought he was making a general observation. Of course, now I see what he was on about.
Wait, how is these people always know everything before I do? I suppose when the CIA invade Nicaragua, the first thing they'll do is convene a top-level briefing with Fat Agnes and the man at the bus stop. I mean, I'm nobody. I'm only the one they're firing.
Why is it this seems to be happening to everyone at the moment? It was just the same with poor old Arthur. Do you remember? A lifetime of loyal service, and then suddenly that was it. They said he was past it. And he was only 56.
He was an elephant.
I knew he was an elephant. I'm well aware he was an elephant. He was giving the children elephant rides, so it's obvious he was an elephant. I was just making the point. How suddenly you become dispensable. Oh, I'll go and make a cup of tea.
26 years.
It's now known that 273 people died and more than 600 were injured in the San Francisco earthquake. These casualties...
I prefer that tie to the one he had on last night.
Oh, what? Oh, that stripy one in the Mauve.
That was too garish for words and terribly distracting, which is just what you don't want when you're trying to listen to what the person's saying. I mean, it makes it very difficult to concentrate all told when you get distractions like that. It's like that woman there, in the back of the picture now. She's very distracting.
Which woman? Where?
The woman just behind him, to the side of his right elbow, eating a jam donut.
I can't see what you mean.
Right at the back. You see that computer screen that looks as if it's sticking out of his ear? And you see just away behind that, there's another desk?
Yeah.
Well, the woman's sitting there.
Oh, yes. You're right. She is distracting.
Oh, for goodness sake. Is this mindless gabble going to go on all night? World War IV could have broken out in this house. I'd never know.
He seems to be in a bad mood tonight. Or is it just me?
Well, obviously it's been a trial for him, Jean, you know. After 26 years, he wasn't best pleased.
Yes. But then he always did get unbearably irritable at the best of times, didn't he? He always was a moaner.
I'm sorry. He? Who is this he we're suddenly talking about? Dr. Crippen? Haig the acid bath murderer?
You've just got to try and keep busy. Find things to occupy yourself. Like Jean here. I mean, she's never idle, are you? All your activities down the community centre.
Coffee mornings and jumble sales.
Lunchtime concerts every Thursday.
In a few moments, we present the Paul Daniels Magic Show.
Oh, no, we don't, matey.
You see? There's something you used to do for a start. Years ago, all those conjuring tricks. Do you remember? He used to put on little shows for the kiddies. Till he had to stop, of course.
What, the NSPCC found out?
I stopped because it was taking up too much of my time. If you want to know...
He's still got all the junk up in the loft to this day. Silk handkerchiefs, dummy pigeons, you name it.
Dummy pigeons?
Weren't they?
Of course they weren't dummy pigeons. They were real pigeons. How do you think they flew all the way around the theatre and back onto that perch?
Don't ask me. Some trickery or other. In any case, the ones I saw that time looked pretty stiff.
Yes, well, they would, wouldn't they? After they'd all been express cleaned at Sketchley's. Told you not to put that suit in without checking with me first.
So, when you're going to come down the centre then, Mr. Meldrew, put on a show for us?
Yeah, it's very funny.
He's too stubborn, I'm afraid.
Yes, they can be at that age. Anyway, he's right, of course. You couldn't expect him to still manage it, not after all these years.
I can still manage it. I'm just not prepared to prostitute my art in front of 6 wizened zombies from the local WI. I've got plenty to occupy my time. The last thing I should be doing from now on is moping around at home all day feeling sorry for myself. Oh, God. I think I'll go and rest my neck on a railway line. 8:55 a.m. Another 14 hours before it's time to go to bed. I'll never last the course. There must be more to it than this. What are you doing? Going to the toilet again? That's the only reason you're going upstairs, is to go to the toilet. You only went 15 minutes ago, and you're only going again now to relieve the monotony. Pull yourself together, man. You're becoming a lavatory junkie. Go on like this, I'll have to weld your flies together. For God's sake, do something constructive. They must be in by now. Give them a ring. What have you got to lose? Hello? Stapleton Security Systems? Yes, I notice you're advertising for staff in this week's... Meldrew. Yes, Well, yes, I worked with Watson Mycroft at their head office for 26 years, so... Right. Yes, that would be perfectly convenient. Could you just excuse me a second? There's someone at the door.
Yes? Good morning. My name is Nick. I'm calling on behalf of the Outward Bound Scheme for the Elderly. I'm looking for Mr. Victor Meldrew.
Yes?
Oh, is that you, sir? Oh, that's thrown me. I was told you lived in the Granny Annex.
I'm on the phone. Can you just wait 1 second, please? Hello. Are you still... Yes, right. Mm-hmm. Come in for a little chat. Why not?
Why not, indeed? Then we can get to know each other, have a friendly natter. You can't do that standing on the doorstep, can you?
What the bloody... I'm sorry. 10 o'clock? 10:15, that'll be fine. I'll see you there. Yes. Goodbye. Look, what do you...
Yeah, friendly natter over a cup of tea. It's also much more personal, isn't it?
Cup of tea?
I won't if you don't mind on this occasion, but it's always nice to be asked. Now, let me just tell you a little bit about the Outward Bound scheme. It's a purely voluntary scheme for our senior citizens to give them little rides out and about, here, there and everywhere, really.
I don't want to go to Eastbourne.
Plus a special minibus to Eastbourne. Once a month, with a trained nurse on board, should anyone suddenly collapse or suffer a wheezing fit of some kind.
Who told you to come round here?
I believe that Mrs. Capshaw from Help the Aged actually put us on to you, but I'm not entirely...
Well, you can just bloody well piss off. Go and try Mrs. Althorpe at 23. She's about ready to nail the lid on.
Yes, sir, I hear what you're saying. A desire for independence is perfectly natural, but you mustn't feel you're being a burden at all. You know, a millstone round the neck of society. I'll tell you what, if I just leave you my phone number...
Yes, thank you. When I need a car to pick me up, I'll ring for a hearse. Goodbye.
Hello, Service Department? Hello, Mr. Yes? Yeah. Well, you're entitled to that opinion, Mr. Glacken, but you must understand when you bring your car to us to be serviced, you could... Yes, but with great respect to you, Mr. Glacken, we sawed the end off in good faith. So I don't think we can be Yes, if it makes you feel better, by all means. Goodbye to you, sir. Oh, good afternoon. It's Mr...
Victor Meldrew, the Crimson Avenger.
Yes. Now, I saw your paperwork here just a moment ago, didn't I?
It's still on the ramp.
I beg pardon, sir?
You assured me my car would be ready 2.5 hours ago, and yet I can't help noticing it's still stuck up on a ramp with two pimply young men in earrings on the roof staging a mock fencing duel with car aerials. Now, what the hell's going on?
Just 1 second, please, Mr. Meldrew.
What the bloody hell are you two doing up there? I don't pay you. Get out of that car. I want it ready now.
I never done nothing.
Yes, there does appear to be a slight hitch on that one, sir. What exactly was the problem with the car?
What? You mean you don't even know what's wrong with it yet?
Well, we know what's wrong with it now. I just wanted to confirm what was wrong with it when you brought it in.
It kept sticking in first gear. Half the time I couldn't even drive it more than 10 miles an hour, and What do you mean what's wrong with it now? What the hell have you done to my car? I got an interview for a new job tomorrow on the other side of town. How am I supposed to get there?
There we are then. Look, everyone. We're just going past the park on the left. Oh, look, aren't the geraniums nice? Shall we stop and have a look at them?
Yes, I think we all know what a geranium looks like, for God's sake. If you don't mind, I'm 5 minutes late for this appointment already, and I'm not exactly wallowing in comfort in the back here, squashed up between the late Margaret Rutherford and a Derrishillian drag.
Yes, I'm sorry it's a bit cramped today, everyone, but try and bear with us. How about you, Mr. Burkitt? The prosthetic pelvis not giving you too much jip yet? Only if it does, just give us a shout and we'll move you off Mr. Meldrew's lap up the front.
For mercy's sake, can't this car go any quicker? Could have hitched a ride in a trained lugworm.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Meldrew, but I'm sure Mrs. Henstridge is pushing us as fast as she can. Is that right, Mrs. Henstridge? Yeah. Just a couple of 100 yards more to the next T-junction, then I'll have a free run downhill and I think we'll be in business. Yeah, and if you could try and keep your guide dog on the inside... It's distracting the other motorists.
Don't worry, Mrs. Warboys. I'll have this working in just a jiffy here. Trouble with these guillotines, they're apt to get a bit stiff when they haven't been used for a while.
Mr. Meldrew, can you stop, please? I don't feel at all safe inside this thing.
It's only a conjuring trick. There's nothing to worry about. If you don't want to watch the blade coming down, just shut your eyes. That can be a bit scary, I grant you.
Mr. Meldrew, please. What if it doesn't work?
It'll work. Have a little faith. It just needs a good clout to free the mechanism.
I want to get out. I feel extremely dizzy.
Don't rock your neck about like that. It doesn't do it any good. Now, if I can...
Oh, my God!
There we are. Perfect. Even sliced the 2 grapefruits in half at the side. Look. Yes. Well, I'm pleased with that. That'll work nicely.
I think I'm going to faint.
No, you're not. Now, come on, just you lie down here. That's it. I'll pop this over you. How do you feel now, all right?
Yes, I think so.
Good.
Mr. Meldrew, what are you doing?
It's all right. It's going straight through the frame like a knife through butter. No problems of any kind.
Victor? Victor, will you get that contraption off her this instant? What on earth are you playing at?
Just making sure it's in working order, that's all. So, how long do you want me to do at the centre? Half an hour? I suppose I could run to 45 minutes at a pinch.
I'll give you a ring about it tomorrow, Mr. Meldrew.
Where are you going? I've still got the escapology to try out. I promise you'll only be in the sack 5 minutes. As soon as I've sorted out these chains.
Goodbye, Margaret.
Yes. Bye, Jean. I thought I told you to practice all this on a cushion.
Where's the pleasure in that? Anyway, it was fine. I didn't think it would be after all this time.
So how did the interview go?
Don't ask.
I just asked.
Well, don't. I turned up 50 minutes later in one of my bad tempers and was immediately insulted by some gink in a peaked cap at the front desk. You know what they're like. So I told them where to stick their job and left.
Well, perhaps something else will turn up. Oh, Mr. Lancashire called into the florist this afternoon from your old office with a big leaving card for you. He said they were going to post it, but it would just be a waste of a stamp.
That was all he brought, I take it. He didn't leave a gold watch or a set of priceless crystal wine glasses.
Well, there's still time. They could be planning some big surprise or something. You never can tell.
I suppose. Oh, look! And there goes another flock of pigs flying south for the winter. I wondered what that snorting was outside the bedroom window.
Any luck at the garage?
At long last. They had to fit a new clutch, complete new gearbox, and 3 new tyres. Don't know why they didn't just weld a new car onto the wing mirror and be done with it. Where are you off to, all done up like a dog's dinner?
I said I'd take old Mrs. Stebbings out for a meal tonight.
I thought she was dead.
No, they found out that was a mistake. Anyway, I don't know what time I'll be back, so I'll see you when I see you.
Yes, all right, bye. Bloody garage. Probably using the car to go out joyriding in. I swear I can smell seaweed in that air filter. 58322, hello?
Hello, Mr. Meldrew. It's Mrs. Warboys. I'm down at the community centre, going through some bits and pieces with Mr. Matthews, who's doing the lighting for us tomorrow.
Yes?
I know it's a bit late. We were wondering if you could get down here at all, to run through your act, as it were, for all the cues and everything.
Can't it wait till tomorrow?
Well, Mr. Matthews can't get here till 1, now that the abattoir's gone off flexi time. You couldn't pop down about 8? It'll be worth your while, I promise you.
Yes, but I don't know as I fancy... Oh, it will. Worth my while.
Oh, yes, Mr. Meldrew, definitely.
Oh, right then. Yes, I'll be down there at 8 o'clock. See you then. Bye.
Bye, Mr. Meldrew.
There's still time. They could be planning some big surprise or something.
Yes. Going for a meal with Mrs. Stebbings, not in that dress, she wouldn't. No, it all makes perfect sense. 8 o'clock, did you say? Right. Here I come.
There we are, Mr. Meldrew. Careful how you go in the dark. If you'll just bear with us, only I'm afraid the lights have all just suddenly fused.
Oh, dearie me, have they really? Yes.
I'm sure Mr. Matthews will have them back on in a tick.
Yes, I'm quite sure.
There we go, you all right down there?
Fine, thanks. All back to normal.
Wait, oh.
I'm sorry, Mr. Meldrew.
No, it's just,
You look smart in your nice new suit and everything. You off somewhere special afterwards?
What? No, I just thought that,
Yes?
No, nothing.
So, you got all your magical paraphernalia with you then?
Yes. I'll go and get it out of the car.
Bye then, Mr. Meldrew. Thanks for everything. It's been very useful. Safe journey home.
Yes, good night, Mrs. Walboys. For God's sake. Weren't you supposed to have fixed this bloody thing? Can't see a thing under here. Where are we? Oh, I don't believe it. There was supposed to be a brand new tire today. I'll have some bloody words to say to that place in the morning, so help me. You come on, you obstinate little bastard. Yes, I know it's not my fault I can't get into second gear. I have to cut off down one of these side streets, I suppose, where it's not so busy. Oh, this is a joke. Teach me to come out without a bloody spare. Wonder if there's anywhere here to get it sorted. Perhaps I'll ask this young lady. Excuse me, miss. The court then heard evidence from WPC Sharon Banks, who had been posing as a call girl as part of a police undercover operation to trap curb crawlers. I first observed the accused driving round the area very slowly with a shifty look on his face, she said. After a moment, he pulled up next to me and called out, "Excuse me, miss, could you do me a favour?" The look on his face left me in no doubt what sort of favours he had in mind. When asked to elaborate, he replied, "I'm going to need a hand pumping this thing up." A problem, I gather, commonly associated with elderly men. The court then heard that a search of Meldrew's car boot revealed a mind-boggling collection of chains, padlocks, and handcuffs, which he claimed to be carrying for use in an escapology act. And much laughter and merriment from the public gallery. Although cleared of the charges before him, Meldrew was later fined £500 for contempt of court, after taking the Bible in his right hand and hurling it at the head of the presenting magistrate. Oh, it's not been a very good week, really, has it? Perhaps an electric fire in the bath would be the answer.
Time will sort it all out. You can't expect everything to run smoothly straight away. You're like that car, you're still stuck in the wrong gear. You've got to change down, slow down, adapt to a new routine. You've got a whole new way of life ahead of you now, Victor. I mean, you've hardly started yet. You've got it all still to come.
Yes. That's what scares me.
They say I might as well face the truth, but I'm just too long in the tooth. So I'm an OAP and we mean, but I'm not yet quite gone to see. I may be over the hill now that I have retired, fading away, but I'm not yet expired. Lapped out, run down, too old to save, 1 foot in the grave.
With music, pow, power!
Every year when summer comes round, off to the sea I go. I don't care if I do spend £1, I'm rather rash, I know. See me dressed like all the sports, in my blazer and a pair of shorts, with me little stick of Blackpool rock. Along the promenade I stroll. It may be sticky but I never complain. It's nice to have a nibble at it now and again. Every day, wherever I stray, the kids all round me flock. One afternoon the band conductor up on his stand somehow lost his baton, it flew out of his hand. So I jumped in his place and then conducted the band with me little stick of Blackpool rock. With me little stick of Blackpool rock. Along the promenade I stroll. In my pocket it got stuck, I could tell, 'cause when I pulled it out, I pulled my shirt off as well. Every day, wherever I stray, the kids all round me flock. A girl, while bathing, clung to me, my wits had to use. She cried, I'm drowning, and to save me you won't refuse. I said, well, if you're drowning, then I don't want to lose me little stick of Blackpool rock. With me little stick of Blackpool rock. Along the promenade I stroll. In the ballroom I went dancing each night. No wonder every girl I danced with stuck to me tight. Every day, wherever I stray, the kids all round me flock. A fella took me photograph, it cost 1 and 3. I said when it was done, is that supposed to be me? You've properly mucked it up, the only thing I can see is me little stick of Blackpool rock.
This is a country and western song found in the mummified remains of the late King Ramantucket. The second verse, as you will see, is strangely conducive to the first. The old mountain railroad was raided, but the mountain boy still carried on. He shivered with damp and clung onto his lamp as the outlaws came shooting along.
And he cried,
don't you ram my way.
Oh, glory, glory,
my money, you can steal my bees, have my honey, but don't trim my way.
Glory, glory, hallelujah, Shadrach. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah, Shadrach.
The most interesting thing I find about country and western music is the complete absence of diphthongs. Although, strange to say, it does not interfere with the basic clarity. Listen. The outlaws, they shut up the station, then blew up the old railroad track. The mountain boy stood just like mountain boys should, till the blast blew him flat on his back.
He cried.
Don't trim my wheel.
Oh, glory, glory.
Don't trim my wheel.
Glory, hallelujah.
You can take my gold and take my money, you can have my bees and steal my honey, but don't trim my wheel.
Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah, Shadrach. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah, Shadrach.
Listen to this last verse carefully. Its beauty of compositional phrasing makes one wonder if indeed the late Ramintuckians were as retarded as we are given to believe.
If ever you pass through the mountains by the old railroad track, you will see.
Oh, yes, you'll see.
A little red light shining bright every night at the spot the mountain boy used to be.
Used to be. And you'll hear.
Don't trim my way.
Glory, glory.
Don't trim my way.
Glory, hallelujah.
You can take my goat and take my money, you can have my bees and steal my honey, but don't trim my way.
Glory, glory, hallelujah, Shadrach. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah, Shadrach.
Good night. Or as a Ramintuckian would say, good night.
Bandwagon was a comedy radio show broadcast by the BBC from 1938 to 1940. The first series featured Arthur Askey and Richard "Stinker" Murdoch. In the second series, Askey and Murdoch were joined by Sid Walker, and the third series added Diana Clare for 2 episodes. Bandwagon was co-produced by Gordon Cryer and Harry S. Pepper and was the first comedy show to be designed for radio.
Bandwagon, presented by Harry S. Pepper and Gordon Cryer.
Bandwagon, come on and make a trip upon the bandwagon. It's a wild voice, it's a grand wagon. Come on and make a trip and join the bandwagon, starting now, boys. Travel on the bandwagon, come on and take a trip upon the bandwagon, starting now, boys. Make a trip, skiddly boom, make a trip, skiddly boom. Join the bandwagon, starting now, boys.
Well, here we are, everybody, with another bandwagon.
Oh, I wish we could find a new way of starting this show besides you saying that.
No, stop it, Big. We had all that out last week.
Yes, but you must admit it gets a bit humdrum.
Aye, proper humdrum.
Aye, it's really humdrum. We had that out last week, too, didn't we?
Well, let's tell them the joke about old Nasty's father and mother.
No, the censor had that out this morning, if I remember right, Leia.
Oh, yes. In any case, Big, remember what we agreed? We were going to give old Nasty a rest this week and talk about something else for a change.
Yes, but you feel you'd like to say something about him. You know, he's pinched a lot of our publicity, hasn't he? I mean, he's had his name in the paper every day this week.
Anyway, Mrs. Bagwash isn't worried about him.
Oh, she doesn't care a hoot. She said to me this morning, it's no good them Germans sitting up in those balloons over London trying to frighten us because they can't.
By the way, Big, who was the gentleman who came to the flat just as we were coming down to broadcast?
Oh, that was the gentleman from the town hall. He said he called for the form that he left last Tuesday.
What form?
Well, the application form for the international refrigeration thing.
You mean the national registration?
That's right.
Did you give it to him?
Oh, no, I told him he didn't want to join.
No, you silly little man. We've got to fill that in.
Why?
Well, if we don't, we'll be liable to a penalty. You know what a penalty is, don't you?
Yes, it's when a member of one side kicks his own behind.
No.
Is that right?
Fool. That's a corner kick. This is a penalty. Now do you understand?
Yes.
Well, what?
Well, a penalty. If you don't fill up this form, the gentleman comes up to our flat with a football, and when we open the door, he has a free kick at the ball, and we're not allowed to stop him.
Now, I think you're being rather silly.
Oh, well, the money's all right. I should worry.
Listen, have you got the form on you?
Yes.
Where is it?
I've got it in the lining of my bowler.
What on earth did you put it in there for?
Well, you told me if we got anything that looked official to keep it under my hat.
Take your hat off. I've told you before how silly you look broadcasting in a bowler.
It's better than televising in a trilby.
Oh, come on, let's have a look at it. Oh, isn't it long?
Well, it's like the certificate I got when I passed my intermediate examination for the pianoforte. I got 110 marks.
They only give you 100?
Well, I did cross hands twice.
Did you?
Yeah.
Come on, then. Let's have a look at this form.
Here you are.
It's got to be filled in by the head of the household. Oh, that's me.
Now, don't be silly. I'm older than you are.
Ah, but I'm the tallest.
Tallest?
Yeah.
Taller? I tall, you tall. Elles ont.
Don't laugh about me. To save trouble, we both fill it in.
All right, when we go in alphabetical order, and I'll go first.
Right you are. They filled in the address for us, Top Flat Broadcasting House.
Yeah, what's this? Description of premises. What shall I put? Clean?
No. It doesn't mean that. It means how would you describe our flat?
Well, I should say it was proper humdrum.
Well, put it down.
All right, proper humdrum.
Right. Pen's a bit scratchy, isn't it, Big?
Well, it's never been the same since I lent it to Norcia to pluck at eyebrows.
Big, you can't spell proper.
Well, it's the only word I can't spell.
What do you mean?
Well, when I was at school, teacher always said I couldn't spell proper.
There's another mistake you made. You put an H in humdrum.
I better cross it out and start again.
Right.
Oh?
There, you've made a blot.
Oh, well, I'll make it into a little man, shall I?
Right you are.
Look, there's his arms, and there's his legs.
That's all very well, but there's no more room on that line now.
Yeah, well, I better rub it out and start again.
You got a rubber?
No, I never have a rubber. Even when I was at school, I never had a rubber.
What did you use?
I used the little boys that sat in front of me.
Well, let's scratch it out with a penknife. Here you are. Oh, scratch it out, scratch it out, scratch it out. Oh, you've made a hole in the paper now.
Well, I don't suppose it'll matter. The gentleman will think description of premises vacant.
Oh, that's fine. Well, what's the next question?
Well, surname and other names. I'll put mine first. A-R... Yes, Arthur.
No, it's surname first. ASCII.
I see. I'll have to make that R into an S, won't I?
All right. Press hard.
All right. Oh, blow, I've made a blot again. I'll have to turn it into another little man. There's his eyes.
That's a good one. Yes, it's a jolly good one. He just needs a couple of strings on his hat and it'll look like the bishop.
Oh, don't be a silly tall man. Well, now listen, I'll start again on the next line. ASCII, A-S-K-E-Y. Now then, my Christian name, Arthur. I just put Artie for short.
Yes, all
see?
right.
A-R-T-Y, Artie.
Saves a bit of time. Haven't you got another Christian name?
Well, I believe I have.
Surely you know.
Well, as a matter of fact, I couldn't get to my christening.
Why not?
Well, somebody had to look after the shop.
Oh.
But, when my mother and father and uncle and aunties came back, Father said, "We've christened you Arthur's ASCII."
Well, what are the initials on your pencil box? A-M-A.
Well, that's it. Arthur Mafeking ASCII.
Why, they call you Mafeking?
Because I was born on the day after the Battle of Trafalgar.
Oh, I see. Well, I'll fill in my names now. I refuse to write the middle one. I'll just put Richard E. Murdoch.
You've got to fill in your middle name. What is it?
I'm not even going to tell you.
Why not?
Well, you'll only laugh.
No, I won't. Now, see this wet, see this dry. Cut my throat, tell a lie. Go on, tell us what it is.
Oh, well, all right. It's Ethel. Big, what are you crying for? You can have one of your nasty turns.
I promised not to laugh, and I've got to do something when I found my best friend's name's Ethel. Whatever made them call you that?
Well, it's rather a strange story. You see, my uncle was walking along with a friend of his, you see, and this man suddenly went... You see?
Yeah.
And my uncle said, what on earth did you do that for? And his friend said, I'm awfully sorry, I thought it was Thursday, and that's how I was called Ethel.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Richard E. Murdoch.
You wrote that quickly, didn't you?
Well, we got to give the band a chance. Spoil that one, didn't
Yeah, I know. You thought the joke would go better. Well, never mind. Now, here's the next column.
Sex.
Sex, yes.
Yeah, you know what sex is?
It's what Sandy McPherson says when he means half a dozen, isn't it?
No, it isn't.
Oh.
It means whether you're a boy or a girl.
You could have a bit of trouble with your name, haven't you?
Oh, don't be silly. Put M for yourself and ditto for me.
OK, M for me, M, and D-I-T-T-O. Oh, I've made another blot.
Looks like Blotto now.
Yeah, well, don't let's bother. I'll turn it into another little man.
See? Now, birthday, day and month.
Well, I was born on a Tuesday.
Month?
June. When was yours?
Awkward for me because I was born on Tuesday at midnight.
Oh, well, put Tuesday and Wednesday.
That's a good idea, yeah.
What month?
Month after May.
Month after May. Work it out. January, August, November, May, October.
That's right.
October.
Put down October, yeah.
Whoa, you haven't made a blot this time, Dickie.
Well, I'll soon fix that.
There
you are. It's that little man again. Now then, year of birth.
Oh, that's easy for me. I was born on the day after the Battle of Trafalgar.
That was 1805.
Right, 1805. What year were you born in?
Well, I'm not going to put that down. I don't want the gentleman at the town hall going round telling everybody.
That's right. Just put find out.
Right.
That's it.
Now then, next column, condition as to marriage.
Well, I'll put novel by nausea.
And I'll put offers inviting.
Yeah, I don't suppose it'll matter. Anyway, I expect the whole thing's a swindle. I don't suppose they give a prize in any case.
Now, Big, you mustn't grumble at a time like this. We've got to be patriotic.
Yes.
After all, that's why we wrote that song, isn't it?
Oh, yes, and I believe we've got something there, Stinker, because it's certainly original.
It is original. Let's say the words to the playmates.
All right, now listen, playmates. Get a load of this. This is our patriotic song.
Fasten up your worries in your old portmanteau and grin, grin, grin. That's it. Your turn.
It's a long way to Connemara, so turn the dark clouds in.
Keep the gas fires roaring for every Tommy and Jack.
There's a long, long winder trailing
till the boys come back.
We hang on.
And now here's Jack Hilton and his band to play you a silly tune called Peckin' with the Penguins.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Bandwagon brazenly presents Chestnut Corner. All the things we come out with. My wife's a decided blonde.
I know, I was with her when she decided. Excuse me, sir, but can you spare me a shilling for a cup of coffee?
Shilling? That's a lot for a cup of coffee, isn't it?
Listen, are you trying to tell me how to run my business?
What could be nicer than a nightingale in a tree?
A lark in a field.
How did you lose your hair?
Worry?
What did you worry about?
Losing my hair.
How are you getting on in your new house?
Oh, fine. I furnished one room by collecting coupons out of soap packets.
That's a grand idea. Why not furnish all the other rooms in the same way?
I can't.
Why not?
They're full of soap. My uncle plays the accordion every night and cries like a baby.
Why? Does he play sad music?
No, the accordion keeps pinching his stomach.
You do look pale. Are you a poor sailor?
No, I'm a rich stockbroker. No? I've come to change my name.
That'll be an expensive business. What is your name?
Harry Smells.
Ooh, I'm not surprised. What do you want to change it to?
Charlie Smells.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes Chestnut Corner for this evening. Later on, we hope to bring you some even better old jokes. Meanwhile, carry on, Bandwagon.
And now Dolly Elsie joins Jack Hilton and his band in Don't Worry About Me.
Forget about me, be happy, my love. Let's say that our little show is over and so the story ends. Why not call it a day, the sensible way, and still be friends? Look out for yourself, should be the rule. Give your heart and your love to whoever you love. Don't be a fool. Darling, why should you cling to some fading thing that used to be? If you can forget, don't worry about me.
Now here's your old China Sid Walker once again, still seeing it through.
Good evening, chums. Yes, this is your old pal Sid Walker, or what's left of him. Lord love a duck, but I didn't half bump into it last week with some of my shopkeeper pals. All through telling you about my pal Tom and his tin of salmon, remember? Some of them got very shirty, some of them didn't, and they told me off properly. Said I wasn't fair to the little shopkeeper, but I don't think they're quite fair to me, chums. Straight I don't, 'cause I told Tom that prices was bound to rise and explained to him about war risk insurance and other difficulties that the small shopkeeper had to face, and I finished up by saying as how he'd have to look a bit further than the small shopkeeper before he shouted profit here, now didn't I? Can't be fairer than that. And then some of my shopkeeper pals has written to say I should think before I talk. Or I think that some of them should listen before they write. Now that brings me to what I'm going to tell you about this week. It so happens I was wandering along my beat one afternoon and I bumped into a little woman, a widow she is. I've known her for some years. Very nice, sensible body too, as a rule. I stopped her past the time of day and we stand chatting for a bit on the corner of the street.
I suppose everything will be all right in the end, but it's very worrying for us all, Mr. Walker. Very worrying.
Well, don't let it get you down, Mrs.
Well, I try not to. But today's news is very disquieting, very.
Oh, what's that?
Haven't you heard? The Germans have sunk the Rodney.
Lummy.
Yes. It was taken by surprise in the North Sea. Fortunately, some destroyers, or whatever they're called, came along and were able to pick up most of the crew, but a lot of the poor fellows aren't accounted for, and the ship went straight to the bottom. Straight to the bottom.
Yes, but you don't want to believe all you hear. I mean, a lot of it's just rumour, you know.
Oh, I have this on the best authority. A friend of mine left.
Well, the old girl and I eventually go our separate ways. Me not knowing what to feel about it all because, well, if the story was true, it's not a nice thing to happen at all. And on the way back to the station, I buy an evening paper, and as soon as I've reported and hung up my helmet, I pops across the road into the park to have a breath of fresh air and see if I can find anything about the Rodney going down. I park myself on a bench near the gate and start searching through the news when a little fella in a bowler hat and glasses sits down beside me, and he begins to do the same thing. Nothing there. Not much news tonight, chum, eh? Things seem to be about the same, eh?
I'm glad you think so. Haven't you heard?
What?
The Germans have sunk the Rodney.
Truth.
Yes, and 4 other ships of the same class with her, taken by surprise in the North Sea. 1 or 2 men were picked up by destroyers, I believe, but the majority perished.
Is there anything in your paper about it?
No. The government are keeping the whole thing very quiet. Bad for the morale of the people that such stories should get about.
Sounds nasty. Anyway, it may only be a rumour.
My good man, I'm not in the habit of spreading rumours. I have it on the best authority from a friend of mine who...
So off scarpers the little fella in a fair off. Well, chums, by this time yours truly is feeling in the need of a bit of cheering up. So I decided on a little place I know of where I can get a pint and some bread and cheese and most likely meet 1 or 2 of the boys. I make my way there, and sure enough there's an old Chiner of mine, an Irishman. He is named Michael Patterson, and very glad I am to see him because there's very few better blokes to be with when you're feeling downhearted than old Mike. Good evening, Mike. What do you have?
Evening, Sid. Bitter.
2 bitters, miss.
2 bitters, all right.
What's the matter with you, Mike? Come on, cheer up. The war will soon be over.
It's over now.
Eh?
Haven't you heard?
What?
They've sunk the home fleet.
What?
The whole lot, including the Rodney, taken by surprise in the North Sea. Some of the lads got picked up by destroyers, but they can't have saved many of them.
There's nothing in the papers, Mike.
There will be. Only happened this afternoon. I met a chap on my way here who's heard on the best authority from a pal of his who knows.
Well, chums, now what do you make of that? The same story 3 times, practically word for word. Only the first time it's the Rodney, the second time 4 cruisers on the Rodney, and in old Mike's version the Rodney and the whole home fleet. There's something wrong somewhere, and I had to find out what it was or I wasn't going to sleep that night. But how? All of a sudden I thought of a peacetime client of mine. He's a clerk or something in the Admiralty. We often have a pipe together, we do, so I squeezed myself into a telephone box and I have 2 penn'orth. Well, he tells me that of course he can't give me any information about what actually has happened till the news has been through the mill, like, but he can tell me that the home fleet, including the Rodney, are still afloat and doing fine. Go to bed and don't worry, Sidney, he says. You'll understand how it happened when you read your morning paper. Well, I was up with the lark in the morning, and the first thing I do is grab a paper. And what do you think, chums? They've sunk a little freighter, and her captain, who'd luckily been saved by a destroyer with all his crew, was named Rodney. See? Somebody gets the wrong end of the stick and starts passing the word round. Just like that kids' game we used to play, passing messages. And the story gets twisted round, and before you know where you are, there's Mike telling me how the home fleet's at the bottom of the sea. Sounds funny as I've told it to you, chums, but, well, it ain't really funny. You see, big ships has big crews, and those crews has relations. Wives, mothers, sisters. And when they hear these rumours, it causes a lot of unnecessary doubt and misery. Shortage of news does give rise to stories, but don't believe everything you hear. And above all, don't repeat it, because you never know who may be listening or what the rumours may lead to. Oh, so long, chums. See you next week. I do run into some things, don't I?
And now Jack Hilton and his band will play a concert arrangement of an old favourite which will be sung by Denny Dennis, Penny Serenade.
Once I strayed 'neath the window of a lovely senorita, and she smiled while I softly played my penny serenade. See, 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 you can hear it for a penny. See, 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 just a penny serenade. In her eyes shone the tender dawn of love and sweet surrender. As for me, in my heart I played a lover's serenade. See, 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 hear my love song for a penny. See, 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 just a penny serenade. For that night so divine she was mine, though no word had been spoken. When I woke from my dream she was gone and my poor heart was broken. Still I pray that wherever she may be, she will remember in her heart. She will always hear my penny serenade. See, 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 that's my love song for a penny. See, 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 just a penny serenade.
ladies and gentlemen, strange as it may seem, the boys are no longer in the studio. They've gone up to that flat. So let's go up and see what they're up to.
Oh, they want you for a penny.
Oh, blow. It's no use sitting there sulking, Big. Everybody else is putting on a bold front, and don't say yours is at the lawn.
Oh, but it's so humdrum, isn't it?
Oh, well, switch on the wireless.
Well, you know the wireless is not working so well since they cut the electricity off and we're working it by gas.
Well, see what's on.
I will repeat the description of the man the police are anxious to interview. Hair brown, eyes blue, average height, average weight. Dressed in coat, waistcoat and trousers with shoes to match. Average. Will anyone who has seen a man answering this description please communicate with the Chief Constable, Police Station, Rory-on-the-Moor, Manx. Telephone number, Little Wobbleswick, 20Y.
Doesn't that announcer sound like Gordon Cryer?
Anyway, switch
Gordon
it on.
Cryer half laughing.
That's it. Switch it up. Wait a minute. That description's very like the man we saw in the sweet shop this morning.
Which one?
Oh, don't you remember we said good morning and he said, I don't know, I'm a stranger in these parts?
Oh, yes. That was suspicious to start with, wasn't it?
We must go and tell the police.
Well, can't we telephone them?
No, it'd be too expensive. It's tuppence in London, so it'd cost at least threepence to telephone to Lancashire. Have you got threepence?
No.
Well, then we'll have to go there.
Well, how can we get there?
Well, John Watt said we can have his car any time we like, now that he hasn't got any petrol.
Oh, well, how can we take his car if we haven't got any petrol?
Well, this is our chance to use our brains. I figured out that if we put the back wheels on the pavement and the front wheels on the road, the car's always going downhill, so we can get there that way.
Oh, yes. Like you do with your bike when you get tired.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I've just been reading an article in the paper. What does it say? Here it is. How coal can replace petrol.
Coal?
Yeah.
Oh, I get the idea.
What?
Well, you get a sack of coal in your car and you go to the nearest petrol station and you say to the garage proprietor, I want 5 gallons of petrol. And he naturally says, no, I won't give you any without your coupons. So you undo the sack of coal and throw pieces at him till he gives you some. Is that it?
Of course, that's just childish.
Oh.
I'll read you what it says in the paper. After years of research, it's now an established fact that coal gas can be utilized as a means of supplying motive power to vehicles.
Oh, well, that's all Greek to me.
Well, it means that they're going to use coal instead of petrol.
Well, should we try and make some of this stuff?
We haven't got any coal.
Oh, well, we can go down to the railway and pull faces at the engine drivers.
We better not go down there. Remember what the signalman said last time he caught us playing last across on the level crossing?
Oh, yeah. I can remember what he said. I wouldn't like to repeat it. I'll tell you what, Stinker. Let's go and borrow a bit of coal from Stuart Hibbert.
That's an idea. He's sure to be in. He's still doing that imposition.
I must say ballroom orchestra, not bathroom orchestra. Oh, yes. Well, let's go along and see the old announcer.
Do you think we know him well enough to call him Stuart?
Oh, yes. After all, we call Sir Walford Davis Wally.
We do, don't we?
Yeah.
Here's his flat. Go on, knock.
2 knocks and ask for Stuart.
Shh. Here he is. Now, be nice and friendly. Call him Stuart.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Hibbert.
We were wondering if you could lend us a scuttle full of coal.
Yeah, the scuttle as well. It's turned out nice, hasn't it?
Stop it, Vic. Mr. Hibbert, could you lend us some coal?
Oh, what a pity. I always think a coal fire is so much more homely.
Yeah. Of course you would, Miss Hibbert, yes, but if you haven't any, you haven't, and that's all there is to it.
Good night, Mr. Hibbert.
Good night.
Good night.
He's talking quieter than ever, isn't he, Big?
Yeah. Didn't you notice he was in his stocking feet?
Oh, that accounts for it.
The toe in the hole.
Come on, let's get back to our little nest.
I wonder when we can get a piece of coal.
We only want a little bit.
That's right.
A couple of lumps of coal would make acres of gas.
You don't have acres of gas, Dickie. You have meters full.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait a minute. We have got a couple of lumps.
Where?
In the... Don't you remember, when we wanted to make a rock garden in the window box, we used a couple of lumps of coal for that.
So we did. Let's open the window and get them.
Right. Why, say, look at the state of this garden.
And we're paying old Middleton 10p an hour to look after it.
All the chrysanthemums, they're not giving our dandelions a chance.
Well, here's the 2 pieces of coal. Pick them up.
All right, I've got them.
I say, what's that fella down there shouting to us?
Huh? Oh, all right, coming.
Yeah, what did you do that for? Wasting our coal?
Well, he said throw something black out.
He didn't. What do you say? He says you knocked his pipe out. Should we throw him a box of matches?
No, he said put your light out.
Oh, I forgot about
Yes,
the blackout.
quick.
Oh, quick, close the window.
All right.
That's right.
There we are.
There
Now,
we are.
come on. What about making some of this stuff to make the car
Well, how
go?
do you think we better go about it?
Well, I think the best thing to do is to boil it in the kettle with some water and catch the gas as it comes out at the spout.
Now, that's a jolly good idea. But these 2 lumps are too big to go in the kettle. I know. We'll put them through the mincer.
Right. But how are we going to catch the gas coming out of the spout?
Well, I've got it all worked out. You know the gas rises, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, I'll put my bowler hat over the spout and catch some as it comes out, you see?
Yes.
And then I'll jam my hat on my head, and then we've got some.
Yeah. But what are you going to do with it? Because that won't be enough.
Well, we'll turn the bath upside down and put the plug in from the bottom upwards.
Yes.
And then I'll get underneath the bath with my hat on, you see? And I'll take it off when I'm inside, and I'll say, "OK, stinker!" And you lift up the bath, and I'll crawl out.
We'll have to do it jolly quickly.
Oh, no, the gas is sticking to the top of the bath.
You know, I wonder somebody didn't think of this before.
Yes.
But when we get the bath full of gas, how are we going to draw it out?
Oh, time enough to worry about that when we've got it in.
Yeah, I see. Well, when we've got it out, how are we going to get it in the petrol tank?
Well, I've got an idea. We'll put it in through the exhaust pipe.
But how will it get into the engine?
Oh, let it find its own way. After all, what goes up must come down. With a Floyd.
Yes.
Yeah.
But won't it make the car go backwards?
Oh, that'll be all right. We'll wear our caps with the peak at the back.
That's a jolly good idea.
Yes.
Now, come on, let's make this stuff. Where's the kettle?
Here it is on the piano. Sorry, in the piano.
Now, come on, switch on the gas.
No, that's gas. Why, that's what we've been trying to make.
Oh, how stupid. We better collect some.
Yes.
Here's a bolster case. Now, hold it over the gas ring.
All right, I'll do it. Hold tanks, hold tanks, hold tanks. By golly, Stinker, it's filling up quickly, isn't it? You better go and get another bolster case.
All right, Big.
Hurry up, Dickie. This case is nearly full. I can hardly hold it. Quick, Dickie!
Well, here's the other case. Where are you, Arthur?
Here I am up on the ceiling.
Don't lark about. Come down at once.
But how can I?
Well, I'll catch hold of your legs and pull you down.
Well, hurry up. It's proper humdrum up here.
All right. Hold on to the gas bag.
Whoa, the comic trousers on.
Big, it's time you put on your thick com.
This is no time to talk about clothes. Get me down.
I know, all right. I'll throw a dart at the bag and puncture it. Here it comes.
Oh, I wish I hadn't got my thick comms on.
Sorry. Here comes another one.
Basement, please. Oh, what's wrong with our bicycles anyway?
Without a car, life may seem very grim. But blame old Nas, see it's because of him. And there you are, you'll keep your figure slim without a car.
For their last number tonight, Jack Hilton and his band are going to play an arrangement by Artie Shaw of Table D'Oates.
if I'm not very clever, but only 'cause I've got to be. As Scansons and Chansons and Fluffs and Skanks and Johnsons and Sampsons and Scansons are fine. Well, I think these Scansons are fun and it's time. Big on it on the big time for me. Big on it on the left way. That's That's a special verse for Chinese listeners. You'll have to excuse that, playmate. Well, anyway, I'm on the wrong page. Oh, no, I'm all right. Now, listen, I'm going to give you rather a recital this evening, playmate, so in case any of you have switched off by the time I've finished, I'll take this opportunity of bidding you good night while we're friends. Good night, Granny dear. Good night. Sleep well. Pleasant dreams. Good night, you grumbling old faggot. Well, now we've got rid of Grandma, playmates. Here's my first little effort. It's a love song to old Nasty. We said we weren't going to mention him, but he's been in all night again. But anyway, just to show him that somebody cares, I mustn't say too much about him, you know. I've just heard he started a fan club for me in Berlin. But anyway, this is my little song. To Adolf with love, I'm sending this little bouquet, a bomb or two, some leaflets too, to Adolf with love, a bunch of barbed wire that I hope will get in his hair, and kind regards from our Jektars to Adolf with love. You've taken all our football pools, it makes us sad, but still we have the RAF to make you go mad. So till one fine morn, when Nemesis knocks at your door, take this bouquet, a raspberry from Arthur with love. Who is this Denny Dennis anyway? What are you doing? It's not fair, he's got a cold tonight. Well, anyway, if old Nasty happens to be listening, there's another verse to that. They wouldn't let me sing it, and I'm not surprised. Well, anyway, of course you heard he was in the front line in Poland the other day, didn't you? Well, that was an accident, you know. He was trying to get away as far as he could from the Western Front, and he got so far behind he found himself in the front line in Poland. And, of course, poor old Goering's in an awful mess. He's so fat he's nearly on the front on both sides. But, well, anyway, playmates, I'm going to sing you this week a little song that I'm going to sing in the film of Bandwagon that we're making at the present time. Sensation. I've turned out to be a marvellous film actor, you know. I've got 3 companies after me already. The Gas, Telephone and Electric. And the producer thinks I'm grand. Well, every bit of film I do, he takes it over and over and over again. You know, he likes it so much. And then he throws his hands up in the air and he says, it's unbelievable. It just shows. Why are we waiting? But I can't tell you about the film itself because it's, you know, kind of advertising. But Stinker and Jack Hilton are in it as well, so you can tell how good it's going to be. We've had a bit of trouble with Louis the Goat. You know, it's very hot under the lights, but we all wear our gas masks and it works out fine. Mind you, we've had a bit of difficulty with the leading lady. Yeah, we were going to have Norcia, but she doesn't film very well. She's quite pretty, but she's so thin. She has to wear corks on her elbows, you know, but she's a lovely girl. Anyway, that's all beside the point. They're all looking half nasty at me because it's getting very near time, playmates. So I'm going to sing you this little song that I'm going to sing in this aforementioned film. You'll see it in the Ninepennies one day. And it's a little thing written by my old pal Kenneth Blaine, and I entitle it, A Pretty Little Bird Am I. Hang on. My heart is like a singing bird, what wings its way from pole to pole. My heart is like a singing bird, my liver's like a leather sole. Ha ha, hee hee. Oh, little brown jug, don't I love thee? I sing, 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 I fly, fly, fly. A pretty little bird am I, a pretty little bird am I. My sister's like a singing bird, her voice is like an artichoke. She fell downstairs the other day, and we all hoped her neck was broke. Ha ha, hee hee. Oh, little brown jug, don't I love thee? I sing, 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 I fly, fly, fly. A pretty little bird am I, a pretty little bird am I. My father's like a singing bird, a corn grey or a raven black. He's always singing at his work, and 16 times he's had the sack. Ha ha, hee hee. Oh, little brown ale, don't he love thee? I sing, sing, sing. I fly, fly, fly. A pretty little bird. Am I, a pretty little bird. Mimi. My heart is like a singing bird, although I'm poor and badly fed. And when my voice is worn away, I beg my door from bread to bread. Ha ha, hee hee. Oh, little brown workhouse, I love thee. I sing, sing, sing. I fly, fly, fly. A pretty little bird. Am I, I'm going to fly away. Bye bye. Bye bye, playmates. God bless. Bye bye.
Well, goodbye, playmates, and my pals here to say goodbye too. That's one bandwagon near to the end of the board. And
yeah, that's what I said last week. Don't you pinch my ears?
I never listened
Well,
to you.
anyway, playmates, we do thank you very, very much indeed, and for listening, you know. And we'll see you again next week, I hope. Bye-bye.
You're always 1, 2, 3 jumps ahead. Stick with us, you'll be well fed.
With happy music all the while.
Easy listening with a smile. Keep jumping, follow suit. You're gonna have a bright new future.
Miss Rigby? Stella, my love? Would you send in the next auditioner, please? Mr. Spigot, I believe it is. Mr. Spigot, please. Mr. Spigot?
Yes, Spigot, the name, Spigot by name, Spigot by nature.
Good, yes. Well, if you'd like to remain motionless for a moment. Now, Mr. Spigot, you are auditioning, are you not, for the part of Tarzan?
Right.
Now, Mr. Spigot, I couldn't help noticing, almost at once, that you are a one-legged person.
You noticed that?
When you've been in the business as long as I have, Mr. Spigot, you get to notice these little things almost instinctively. Now, Mr. Spigot, you, a one-legged man, are applying for the role of Tarzan.
Right.
A role that traditionally involves the use of a two-legged actor.
True.
And yet you, a unidexter, are applying for the role.
Definitely.
A role for which 2 legs would seem to be the minimum requirement. Well, Mr. Spigot, need I point out to you where your deficiency lies as regards landing the role?
Yes, I think you ought to.
Need I say with overmuch emphasis that it is in the leg division that you are deficient?
The leg division.
The leg division, Mr. Spigot. The leg division. You are deficient in it to the tune of 1. Your right leg, I like your right leg. It's a lovely leg for the role. That's what I said when I saw it come in. I said, lovely leg for the role. Lovely leg for the role. I've got nothing against your right leg. The trouble is, neither of you. You fall down on your left.
You mean it's inadequate?
It's inadequate, Mr. Spigot, and to my mind, at any rate, the British public is not yet ready for the sight of a one-legged ape man swinging through the jungly tendrils. However, don't despair, Mr. Spigot. After all, you score over a man with no legs at all. I mean, should a legless man come in here demanding the role, I should have no hesitation in saying, get out, run away.
So there's still a chance?
There is still a very good chance, Mr. Spigot. If we get no two-legged character actors in here within the next 18 months, there is every chance that you, a unidexter, will be the very type of person we shall probably in some way be attempting at some time to contact telephonically. I'm sorry I can't be more definite, but you must understand what with all the difficulties the BO process
Change at Oglethorpe was a short-lived radio program that aired from December 1995 to January 1996. There were 6 half-hour episodes and it was broadcast on Radio 2. It was written by Peter Morfoot and produced by Gareth Edwards. The theme music is an instrumental arrangement of the Yorkshire folk song On Ilacla Mor Bart At, with the opening played by a two-tone train horn.
Change at Oglethorpe by Peter Morfoot, starring Michael Williams and Peter Davison. Episode 1, Off the Rails.
Oglethorpe, Oglethorpe, Sludgeby train, platform 2. Now, here's a special announcement to passengers alighting here. Hang on. Passenger, there is. The bloke in the grey flashes Mac on platform 1. Yeah. You, sunshine, why not pay a visit to our privately run cafe bar, Brief Encounter, where the former rank organisation starlet, the very... Hang on a minute, I cannot read your writing, June. Looks like lovely. Well, that can't be it. Lively? Oh, well, need bother. Where was I? Where the very rank June Virgo will serve you with a range of high-class snacks, meals and drinks in an ambulance. In an ambience that conjures up the magic atmosphere of the golden age of the silver screen. And for those interested in the occult, June also provides... Beggar me, it worked. Punter on his way, June? Well, that's if he's not off to the bogs. Oh, he is. No, he isn't. Oh, make your mind up. Pillock's running off now. I don't know. Sorry, June. Maybe's next time, eh? Remember, it's punk hour from 3 o'clock this aft here on platform 1FM. But for the minute, this is New Points Point SCN.
Thank you, Points. Light and charming, I told her. And do you think they teach them to read in schools anymore?
Yeah, I wouldn't be cap what they do nowadays. Right, I suppose I'd better be heading over to ticket office. Groves will be dragging himself back from wagon and horses in a bit.
On his last day with us? Oh, I shouldn't think so. Particularly as he drew his leaving pay and he took the whip round we had for him on top.
74 pence and a second-class stamp will not detain him a lot longer, will it? Besides, you can never tell what Barnsley folk like him will do, especially when they're tanked up.
Brief Encounter.
Hello,
Hello, Mr. Groves. Yes, I agree. No point in coming back this afternoon. You go home from the wagon and horses. Goodbye. All the best to you in your new job. Yes, I'm sure you'll be very happy at Allied Breweries. Yes, indeed. Goodbye. Hard to believe he was a teetotaler when he first took up office here. 3 short months ago. Poor Mr. Groves.
Oh, Nout. I never liked him from first day, when he refused to talk to my Percy. He was just poking out of my trousers, trying to be friendly. Not even a hello.
Sorry?
And as for shaking hands with him, Out of the question, that were. Oh, yes.
I know I'm going to regret this, but what are you talking about, Rocket?
I'm talking about that Barnsleyite Grove snubbing my Percy. One of the finest competition ferrets to have been stuffed down a pair of trousers since records began.
Percy's a ferret. Thank God for that, I think.
Living legend, Percy is. I could tell you stories about me and him.
No, don't worry.
Well, just let me say this. You can tell a lot about a bloke by how he carries on with a ferret. A lot. A bloke that can't handle a ferret isn't worth knowing.
Thank you, Rabbi Lionel Blue. A thought for the day to inspire me as I wipe down the table.
Please, then. Right, I'm off. It'd be like Groves to come back here special just to catch me on me break, pass me time, and then there'd be hell to pay, his last day or not.
No, there wouldn't.
You what? He'd be on phone to silly sodder area office, just like that.
What do you think would happen to you if Mr. Groves did report you? Mr. Sod can't sack you, can he? He retired you 10 years ago.
The day I retire from this station is the day they cart me out in a box.
Yes. Shouldn't have brought that up, Rocket. Sorry.
Aye.
Oh, thank you, Posty. Oh, I wonder if it's the letter.
What letter?
From area office.
Oh, that.
Well, aren't you just a teeny weeny bit curious about who Mr. Grove's successor will be?
No.
Is it, a red reminder, and I've already won a star prize in the great world of curtain summer draw.
I don't know what you get it to work up for, June. Won't make any difference who the new senior grade operative is, will it?
Well, you never know, Rocket. Someday my prince, our prince may come.
Don't hold your breath. What do you want a prince for at your age? You'd be better off with a budgie and a set of balls.
At my age? I'm not thinking of sporting a blue rinse quite yet.
Go with your varicose veins.
One more word and you're barred.
Look, all I'm getting at is this. Don't build up your hopes on the new bloke, because one thing is certain. Whoever Arthur Sod sends us is bound to be a wassock of the first water. Mark my words.
Come in, Mr. Clare. Take a seat.
Thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Dr. Clare, in fact, isn't it?
Well, strictly speaking, but I only used my title when I was a head-in-the-clouds academic. Now I've touched down on planet Earth, Mr. Spine.
Yes, certainly have an interesting CV for a BR Station senior grade operative applicant. 3 degrees, 4 years lecturing. Even had a couple of books published. Critical Approaches to Rembrandt and Paradigms of Structuration in Early Abstract Expressionism. Sounds like a good read.
Torrent of trendy tosh masquerading as timeless truth, which is par for the course for the academic world. But I'd like to stress that that's all behind me, Mr. Sod. Thank God.
Nervous breakdown, wasn't it? Got your psychological profile here. Highly strung, irresponsible, escapist. Not particularly encouraging for a prospective employer, is it?
Oh, I don't know. Breakdown experience is probably ideal training for a future in BR. Yes. Seriously, though, I'm fine now. I haven't had to recite my panic mantra once since I joined the graduate training scheme.
Panic mantra?
Yes, you know. You close your eyes and count 1, 2, think it through, 3, 4, calm once more, and so on.
Also not encouraging was your score in the trainee senior final exam. Question, what do you perceive to be the greatest challenge currently facing the rail network in Britain? Answer, those dickheads at the Department of Transport, obviously.
Fair enough, isn't it?
David, nitty-gritty, why do you want to run a small country railway station?
2 reasons. First, I want a down-to-earth, simple existence among down-to-earth, simple people. Well, not simple people, obviously, but the sort of people who call a spade and not a counter-displaced project object icon.
I see.
The second reason is in my jacket pocket.
Oh, yes?
Mr. Sod, meet Bert.
Bert?
Indeed. Bert is a 00 scale loco driver from a model railway I've had ever since I was a child. It started out as a toy, it became a hobby, and eventually it was therapy. To cut a long story short, Mr. Sod, running a small country railway station would be the realisation of a lifelong dream for me.
Dream? You know, David, a typical candidate for a post such as this is an averagely educated, middle-of-the-road type, sort of chap who has one eye on the latest passenger throughput league tables and the other on the BR Management Structure Handbook. You, on the other hand, are an irresponsible, escapist intellectual with a dream, a history of mental breakdown and a misshapen lump of plastic in your pocket.
My ex-girlfriend's cat got him. Twice, actually.
Perhaps I didn't make myself clear. Look, what do you think that you would bring to the post of senior grade operative at Higher Oglethorpe Station that the other applicants wouldn't?
Apart from Bert. Sorry. A love of railways, Mr. Sod, and everything that goes with them.
Another drop of tea, June, please.
Hattie, was that all right for you, love?
Very nice, June, as usual.
Let's see. 2 Goodbye Mr. Chips fish platters, 3 Babson pot of tea, $5.50 altogether. Tea, Rocket.
There we are.
Just right.
June, a word.
Don't mind me.
Other end of the bar, Hattie. Yes, love.
I saw my Herbert last night, as plain as day. He was sitting under one of my dryers in the salon reading a brochure on UPVC replacement windows.
It's a sign.
But a sign of what? He never set foot in the salon when he were alive on account of my exclusive beauty products playing havoc with his sinuses. And another thing, he thought UPVC were very suspect.
Did he? Did he?
Aye. Something's wrong, June. There's only one thing for it. I need you to get in contact with the other side as soon as possible, love. How are you fixed at the minute?
Well, of course, one cannot be too hasty with the other side. Many hours must be spent in purifying meditation before the medium can attempt to lift the veil to the mystical brightness beyond. Tonight, after the 8:30 Sludgeby stopping, I'll close up early.
Thank you, love.
Oh, Hattie, on a different note, your satin skin beauty products.
Yes?
Have you had a chance to make up another batch of your avocado and gooseberry anti-wrinkle cream? I've completely run out.
Run out of what?
Anti-wrinkle cream.
Oh, anti-wrinkle cream. By gum, you get through some pots of that. Have you thought about a refillable tub? Or a bucket apple?
No.
Be cheaper for you.
Perhaps, but have you made up more?
I'm afraid not. Bit of a hiatus on the production line. Equipment failure. You know my slightly astringent dandelion and burdock body tone and tingle?
Yes.
It ate through my bath last week.
Oh, dear.
I wouldn't have minded, but I were in it at the time. Any road, be a couple of weeks before I get back into full production. Oh, my train. See you tonight, June. And don't worry, your wrinkles won't get any worse in a fortnight. Will they, Mr. Stevenson? Bye!
Mrs. Clack.
Bye. Herbert's been trying to get through to Hattie.
Never could when he were alive. Don't know why he's bothering now. I'll see you.
It's Friday.
Yes. I'll settle for a week later on.
3 weeks, actually. £21.60 it comes to.
£21?
I could do with it today. Call it 20.
Where am I going to get hold of 20?
You see, I need to balance... Oh, look. Hattie's left her shopping.
Stand still.
What?
Don't move a muscle. Do exactly as I say. Very, very gently. Put that bag down and walk slowly towards me. What you've got there is a suspect package.
Suspect? It's Hattie's shopping from the covered market.
Put it down and walk slowly towards me.
Even if I were not one of the finest occultists this side of the Pennines, I could tell you exactly what's in this bag.
You know the rules and regs.
Tripe.
Happen, but we've got to follow them.
No, what I mean is, this is a bag of tripe.
Put it down.
Rocket.
Down!
Oh, what a performance.
Over here. This is a job for the professionals.
And by professionals, you mean...
Me.
How surprising.
You guard door and don't let a soul in. I'll be back quicker than a Fred Truman bouncer. I've got just the thing for this situation.
A pound of onions.
Morning. He can shift for an old un, can't he?
like a wizened old whippet. Don't come in. Better stay where you are.
Well, I want an espresso to take away, love.
I'll bring it over to you. There's a bag of tripe in here.
I've seen bags of tripe before.
Apparently, this one might explode. 50 pence, please.
Right.
Thank you.
Gangway!
Oh, good grief, it's Isaac Walton. Call again.
Bye.
Don't get that fishhook caught on my dress.
No chance. Ogle Valley fly casting champion, 5 years on the trot in the 50s. I've lost none of my subtle skills.
Oh?
It is not but a couple of sauces.
Disposing of a suspect package is supposed to be a job for the army.
I am army, and I've got a leg full of Jerry bullets to prove it.
Well, I bet they don't use fishing rods.
Perfectly still now, June. Not a sound. This requires absolute concentration.
Oh, bang goes my Robert Donut poster. I thought you said you were a champion.
I didn't have this clothhead jumping out at me at critical moment, did I?
What you doing with your fishing rod, Rocket?
Listen, load both barrels to my shotgun and meet me out in the yard by the old coal office.
Why?
Suspect package.
Oh, we're going to shoot at it?
No, we're going to club it to death on the double.
Right. This is preposterous.
Stand still. Here we go. There you are.
Oh.
Up she goes. Duck.
Oh, of all the... Oh, ludicrous. Mind the tea-urn.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. I did a lot of this sort of thing in the Western Desert.
What, swinging a bag of tripe around on the end of a fishing rod? Oh, that must have put the wind up Rommel.
Stand aside. Clear to reopen.
It's tripe, I tell you. 2 pounds of finest pig bag from Garsides. She eats it while she watches the wrestling. Oh, ye gods.
Unusual catch Rocket's got there.
Oh, hello, Posty. Oh, isn't it?
There you go. And will you sign for a recorded delivery item as well, love?
Ah, delighted.
Everything all right? What were that?
Don't ask.
Good job one of you's normal, love.
Yes, bye. Oh, the area office letter. Oh, now where's my magic pyramid and wand? Oh, these pork scratchings are past their sell-by date. Oh, never mind. Under the pyramid the letter shall sit, to bring me good fortune when I open it. May he be handsome, may he be fair, have all his own teeth and a full head of hair. Wand, make true what I ask of you. 5 minutes should do it. No, make it 10. Someday my prince will come.
The 1440 intercity service to Leeds will depart from platform 12. Peterborough and Leeds only, platform 12.
Ticket. Got a BR travel warrant here somewhere. There.
Oglethorpe via Leeds. Hang on, this warrant is for travel tomorrow.
Ah, so it is. Well, just between us, couldn't wait to get up there.
See Oglethorpe and die, eh? Understandable.
Quite. So couldn't we just stretch a point, you know? We're all work pals together, aren't we? I mean, travel today, travel tomorrow, what's the difference?
If you go today, it'd be about 45 quid, I should imagine.
Yeah.
So why don't you come back tomorrow and use your work pal's warrant then?
You see, the thing is, I've already handed the keys into my flat.
Bit rash there, weren't you? But I see your point. Today would be best.
I knew you'd understand. Thanks a lot.
Ticket office is over there, mate.
That empathy bypass operation was a real success, wasn't it, mate?
Platform 1 again. Kick in with Skunk and Nancy. Right, what's coming up next?
You get you to clip round here from me if you don't turn that rubbish off. I can hit it right over by the Folk water tower.
Yeah? Great.
Folk don't want it, you know. Hey, turn that mic off. The old Brummage station can hear us.
Oh, there's nobody here, man, Rocket. Walrus and June.
No cat. Come on, let's go get a cover. I'm parched.
Oh. Okay, then. Hey, did I tell you about the goal I scored on Saturday? Wasim, the skipper, he's swung the ball on the halfway line and he's chipped it straight up in the head. Right? 30 yards out I was. Best headed goal anybody at the club could remember.
Yeah, if it's head as you want. I netted a 58-yarder once. Oglethorpe versus Digworth Rovers, 1938. Used to be a plaque by spot. 2 teas and 2 rounds of toast, Jim, please. Oh, why? I can pay me mess bill. Points, my winnings. Give them to June.
Winnings?
Aye. 20 quid for the first one to destroy that suspect package, and he has first go.
It were my gun.
Don't move a muscle. This is a job for the professionals. You wily reprobate rocket. You knew it was tripe all along.
What?
Keep the money points. Put it towards a new hairdo or something. I'm too excited to be bothered about mess bills now. I know who the new SGO is. A Mr. David Clare. Lovely name, isn't it?
Knew a fella called Sweetman once. He were an axe-murderer from Shipley.
When's he coming?
Tomorrow.
I wonder what sort of bloke he'll be like.
Exactly same as all t'others we've had.
If my tarot cards are anything to go by, he'll be a very different cast of gentlemen. Oh no.
What's up?
Rocket, tomorrow's not your ferret fancier's bun fight in the yard, is it?
What do you mean? Oh, no. It's tonight, as it happens, any road.
Oh, good. David will have a whole month's grace before he sees what you and your drunken cronies get up to, whatever it is.
Listen, you can tell a lot about a bloke by how he...
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Rocket, do you reckon I could come along to the ferret do tonight, like? Hey, it might be a good... It might be interesting.
Do you know what goes off?
Oh, aye. You each shove a crazed hunk of vermin with razor-sharp teeth down your kecks, let it have a good writhe around, and then you pull it out a split second before it chomps off your tadger.
Oh, please.
Right, well, not to put too fine a point on it, young lady, you are lacking a certain vital piece of equipment for the job, aren't you?
A tadger?
A ferret.
I didn't want to do it, man. I just want to watch.
Yeah, I'll have to check with it, lads.
Afternoon, June. Mr. Stevenson. Miss Pointer.
Hello, Hattie.
June, I think I must have left my shopping in here at dinner time. You haven't found it, have you, love?
Ah. Yes, Hattie. Unfortunately, it was, Rocket?
Look, you left a suspect package, right?
What are you talking about? It were £2 a try.
It were £2 of suspect package, which were removed for reasons of public safety by army personnel.
The army took away my tripe? What about me wrestling?
You'll have to find somewhere else to wrestle.
I eat it while I'm watching wrestling, you clothhead.
Oh.
What happened then?
It were destroyed by a controlled explosion outside Thold Coal Office.
You mean the army blew up my pig bag?
To Kingdom Come, aye.
I never even had one mouthful. What a waste.
Yeah, but you never know. Happened a lump landed by your Herbert on t'other side, and he had it instead.
Oh, he were partial. Happen that's what he were trying to tell me t'other day. Hey, June, happen that's why I left it behind. God works in mysterious ways.
Yes, indeed, but I don't think exploding tripe would ascend as far as the mystical brightness, Hattie.
Well, we can ask him tonight, can't we? Bye, love.
Bye.
Hey, a tripe might not have ascended as far as the mystical what's-it, but it reached the men's bogs all right. Hey, the roof splattered, man.
I was wondering what that was. Oh, Hattie! Sort your toast out points. Hattie! Sorry, love. I forgot to mention it. Would you mind postponing tonight's séance for a day or two? Something rather important's come up, and I desperately need a hair appointment, facial, full-body massage. In fact, the works.
Well, I were right looking forward to getting hold of Herbert.
Oh, I know it's short notice, but I would appreciate it.
Tell you what, June, why don't we combine the two? You perform the séance while I get stuck in with makeover.
I don't think I could possibly lift the veil under those circumstances. Enormous composure and concentration are required.
You could do it. An old trooper like you.
I prefer former artiste, if you don't mind.
Same difference.
It would be a challenge.
Of course it would.
All right, I'll give it a try.
Grand. But hey, I wanted it brief encounter, June. You picked up Herbert in their champion last time.
I'm a medium, Hattie, not a transistor radio. But yes, that will be fine if you can manage.
I'll bring everything with me. Bye, love.
Till tonight, Hattie. Today, June Virgo, cafe proprietress. Tomorrow, June Virgo, femme fatale. Lying prone is one thing, but wearing a face pack is definitely cramping my style, Hattie. Oh, oh, don't you ever warm the massage oil?
Coal is good for your buttock cellulite.
Oh.
Ask him about the tripe.
Oh, I'll try once more. Are you still there, Herbert? Speak to me. Come back through the veil. Come back through... Oh, the mystical brightness is dimming. Come back through the veil.
Stop your bloody moithering, Herbert, and come back through this minute.
2.5 hours late. Not a particularly auspicious start. Still, my station. I can't get over it. Oh, where is he? What about this, Bertie? And look at these buildings. Good old Millstone grit in all its down-to-earth glory. Perfect. Let's explore. Starting with the cafe, if it's open. Dying for a tea.
Just going for a turn round the yard, lads. See you in a few minutes. Wait till we're out of sight, points. I've made something to stick on Percy's head. They'll knock to others dead for final.
OK. Hey, somebody's off to the cafe, look, man. They'll be lucky. June closed up ages ago. That Hattie's given her a beauty treatment.
I thought they were having a seance. Same thing when you think about it, really, isn't it? Trying to bring dead back to life either way. Oh, hang on a minute. Here, old Percy. I shall have to tie up my trouser strings a bit tighter, or he'll be running off when he gets back down there.
Oh, OK.
What are you doing at him?
And I didn't think he likes me, man.
It just doesn't take to some folk. Give him here.
Oh, thank Gaza for that.
Down you go, Percy. And stop your noise.
Hey, he's having a good ride. Hey, I hope he's not peckish.
Yeah, he'll be all right now. So long as nobody else upsets him. Come on. Far end at yard's best. We can't be seen from there.
Ah, here we are. Brief encounter. Bit trendy.
It's Herbert.
What was that?
It's not the tripe I'm after, woman. It's me cloth cap. I left it in B&Q. Massage, Hattie, massage. It's not 2 pinfalls, 2 submissions, or a knockout.
Sorry, June, but it's as if he was standing there. I'll calm down. You carry on.
Hold still, Percy. Does he look champion with that on it?
He looks proud to wear it, Rocket.
Of course he is. He's from Pudsey, you know.
Hey, that bloke that went to the cafe. He's staring through that chink in the curtains, look. He's watching June having a rub down and that. He's a peeping Tom.
He must be desperate. Dirty bugger.
Right. He's in for a surprise. Let's get him.
I'll get my shotgun.
He's gone again, Hattie. For one last time, Herbert. Come back through.
If you don't come back through immediately, Herbert Clack, I'm going to set fire to your shed.
27, 28. I am master of my fate.
Gotcha!
Oh, great. He has come back through.
Hattie, my robe.
Just a minute. That's not my Herbert. You haven't come from t'other side for his cap, have you?
Point, what have you done? And who are you?
David, Claire, the new...
You're not supposed to be here until tomorrow. I don't normally look like this.
He's a peeping Tom. I caught him.
He is not a peeping Tom, you imbecile. He's our new senior.
Excuse me for not getting up, but I don't seem able to move.
Oh, Point, if you've damaged him.
Nice to meet you, David.
Perhaps you'd like a brandy.
No, a vigorous massage and scalp rubs what he wants.
No, I'll be all right in a minute.
Give us your head.
Ow!
Oh, what's that, your eye?
What's going on?
It's the new SGO.
Yes, I don't think we'll be needing the shotgun rocket.
Oh, what's a new bloke, David, is it? I'll just open my flyer so you can shake hands with Percy. He's got his Yorkshire cap on now, special. Now you've upset him.
Oh, let go of his nose, you little brute.
1, 2, then get through.
He has. We used to just drive him to drink. Now we're shooting him.
Rocket, you've assassinated our new colleague.
Oh, I had to fetch Percy back. Hello, lad.
Murderer!
Oh, no, look. He's moving.
Tain of a wing.
Oh, thank God. I'm coming, David.
I'd do your robe-up first, June.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to give you the kiss of life. Don't move.
Oh, that's got him up. Hand off. Look at him go, man.
There's shamming. Typical. Young Mr. David Clare's off to have his post dart. I don't give that lad 5 minutes in job.
In episode 1 of Change at Oglethorpe, Rocket was played by Michael Williams, David by Peter Davison, June by Rosemary Martin, Points by Philippa Wilson, Hattie by Madge Hindle, and Mr. Sod by Chris Emmett. Other parts were played by Caroline Strong and David Timpson. Change at Oglethorpe was written by Peter Morfoot and produced by Gareth Edwards.
That's all, folks.
What did you say?
Nothing.